pick this time around for EDG. Can they stick the landing?
Back-to-back rounds they found it into A, and again, moving into a little bit of a B split. It'll be interesting, and Kong's one away from the showstopper. There's worlds here where EDG can get him online and keep it coming.
I like the stall towards long though, that is lovely. It divides, and it conquers! Silver the one to try and do the damage this round, and again the two players on bot can't support. Divided by the molly, held back, and deleted by Stacks. Simon, there was a little bit of threat to this round initially. We saw a little bit of that, pick coming in, maybe something to be had. Feels like that's been shut down really swiftly. Simon, yeah, these angles too good. T1, 3 standing, flawless on the board.
Sure, you come into that round and it's just sheriffs, whatever, for EDG, but there's something to be said about how T1 are playing these dual setups on the B site. When you think back to the pistol round where Meteor gets the ace, he's tucked in Cubby, Izu is right up against the wood there, and they've got this great crossfire going. Then here it's very similar, where Izu's actually tucked over behind this green box. So they're playing on opposite sides of the site very nicely, and EDG seems very slow to adjust and haven't done a great job of clearing away those corners.
Again, it feels very surprising to be saying these things. We're so used to seeing EDG in high peak form right now. Lovely attempt there with the jump spot coming in as well, just kind of adding layers to it. So they're going to show that the operator is in play. Initially was posted towards that B site, now obviously free to rotate.
Seems like EDG want to play some of these slower rounds. It's looked like Chichu and Simon have been sort of hand-holding on opposite sides of the map. Last few rounds they've been playing B long, now working into showers, considering maybe leaving an embed or whatnot, but even when they found the early picks, it's not like they're relying on lurks and late round teleports to come into a site. They've reset into B splits pretty frequently.
That's kind of a reset on the timer of is someone here. Okay, round's connected. We've also got pressure up long. That's at least 2 players. You could maybe extrapolate. You're going to know Kong now as well. This feels very indicative of it being this B site hit.
It's hard to exec here though, because there's a knife to shut down the head.
Molly again towards lung. This time they beat it though. We're going to have the ult on top. Izu tries to make a stand, goes down. Stacks still on site, and Stacks
Stacks menyala.
He's got an arm on Kong. He does. He's bringing EDG to their knees.
IGL-nya menyala, bro.
Buzz is having none of it. T1 are locked in.
T1 just have every single answer in response to these B-side execs.
And Stacks looked so calm in that as well. He didn't look overly phased, overly fussed. He held himself perfectly in these scenarios. It's incredible the amount of pressure on that side.
Coming in with the utility, the knife, then just playing in backside cleanly like this.
And getting these 1v1 fights is incredibly surprising. I was expecting that swing a little bit quicker coming out here as well. I know it's not going to be easy, it's chaotic on both sides, but you can't give a player like Stacks that room to work. I need to see EDG waking up.
It feels a little reminiscent of yesterday and EDG's game against G2 on Lotus, where they kept attacking the A side over and over again. Now we've seen, what, 3-4 B execs, and every time, just good gunplay of T1 have shut it down.
And a new conundrum, but again, it's resolved. Izu this time denied the early start. They expect the pressure from long, and Silver going to then backfill the space. That site is inaccessible. You've got to find something else to do here, EDG, or find a new layer to this, because they're just getting decimated. This is not difficult for T1. This looks easy against the reigning champions. This looks easy.
Meteor's just a god. He's sitting at 12-2 after 6 rounds. And a combination of finding these timings to push through the smoke. Right, Izu does it, then Silver.
Udah oke banget ini.
And you're never clearing Meteor in that cubby.
Meteor individually has more kills than the entirety of EDG together. That's what world are we living in?
Unfathomable.
And I love it for T1. I love seeing these players, as said, who've been so driven in Valorant to show this level, this capability, right? Any fan would love to see this.
Buset 6-0 gini.
But I also don't want EDG to suddenly lose all of that bravado, all of that ability that sat so well beside them.
We've heard EDG say, they're no strangers to the lower bracket. They ran it back domestically to come ahead in the finals and become China's #1 seed. Something feels off with this team right now. They have to course correct quickly. There's no longer any time to work with, at least on this opening map.
Oh, that pivot point, isn't it? And it feels like EDG haven't solved so many of these different problems. This unwillingness to back away from that B hit leaves them in the dark towards A.
Also looking at the double ults, right? Chichu and Simon are ready to maybe look for an A exec. Now they've just got the null command to send it in. Flash out of the smoke. Kong's gonna be sending it into the lamps. What is going on?
It's only him. He's held up. Meteor will not relent. He will not give up his sight, and he's gonna punish every single
Gila.
one. T1 again. Another flawless round. Do you burn another timeout, or do you just let this go? What do you do in
Wah.
EDG's position? Because this is
Timeout
not
nggak sih?
the team who won champs. This is not that team right now.
I genuinely think you have to pull the timeout. Their execs just look sloppy.
And the spacing between it.
Sumpah ini gamenya mirip banget dengan PRX kemarin ini
But
EDG.
these are new things that EDG have never seen before.
No. You've got, flashes from Meteor and Stacks countering out the exec. Those second, third players coming to side are just getting shut down. But also, their slow play. Now that there's an op in the hands of Buzz, that's not going to
Korea
be
ini
easy to
selalu
keep
menang
working.
gerakan mereka ini.
The map playing it slowly, so they show a knife down towards B long to maybe pull a rotate. Now sending the ulti in. That's a surprise.
He's still going to go there. Does it divide as much? Not really.
Stacksnya ulti.
Stack's going to then
Kelar sih ini.
best of. Buzz still not really moved. All pressured in showers. A lot of this site is still controlled by T1. But EDG have a decent position towards lamps. They can dig their heels in here.
Yeah, nobody's got the ultimate as well. Some options to trap play off of contact,
Huge.
but easy with this
Izunya
ultimate.
bisa
I mean,
ulti
they're just
lagi.
gonna go running through.
Wah.
Yeah, there should be, green light, go for it, get in there.
GG kah?
Meteor fancying it. They're still online.
NT kah, NT?
Meteor, they have no idea. Now they see him,
NT ini.
but now it doesn't matter. No,
Cicu.
Cicu turns. Does get
Selalu
Meteor,
Cicu.
but the paranoia mounting. They're burning every ult they got because they need a round. They need something on their side. But Stacks is defusing. He gets taken off the defuse. EDG might scrape by here. But
Oh, nggak bisa, nggak dapat sih.
all coming together at the right time, at the right place.
Nggak dapat sih, nggak dapat.
Good luck. The time is too late.
Gelo.
EDG finally on the board, and they put everything in it.
I think I saw a kitchen sink flying past at that point.
Maybe the biggest investment I've ever seen in a MasterCard Thrifty. Putting 2 ultimates into the challenge. But really, it was that lamps control like you were talking about that worked out nicely. Meteor only gets that first kill.
Cosplaynya bagus banget ya, EDG.
Didn't hear that one coming in, that's for sure.
But again, it's so close. It's so close. It's almost too close.
Udah dapat dulu padahal
Oh,
basnya.
okay, back through. That's one, right? This could be, you get the blood pumping a little bit, wake you up. EDG showing that, hey, we can get on the board here, but you've got to find more success than that. Once, nowhere near enough.
Exactly. The issue is now the ult cycle is down. Those ultimates were really impactful in both the hit and the post-plant situation. So EDG are going to move back into their slow rounds right now, but they seem a little bit timid in terms of the angles they're taking because they know T1 have the good enough econ to have bought back into the operator, so it's only after maybe you see a peek that finally the showers players start creeping. Finally we see that creep into long. They left Spike all the way back in towards spawn.
Yeah. Again, this little bit of a pace change is interesting, right? A little bit of a gear shift, slowing it down. I don't think that's going to cause too many issues.
Kebi
for
ini
T1
mereka.
yet. As it stands, though, it does seem as though T1 are in that 3-play stack towards A. Quite like what EDG are attempting here.
Apalagi
but
tahu
this late
A-nya ada
creep
OP.
into Atuka will be curious.
Udah
Yeah,
langsung
Meteor
di.
have done a great job of holding on to Hookah.
Tapi ada ulti nggak nih si Meteor? Wah ada ulti sih.
This could be nice though. They have no idea. Turns a flash, no sweat. He's gonna hold this down, and once
Untung
again,
nggak keluar
offsets
itu.
this hit. It delays the approach. He spots out one, calls it out.
Oh, lumayan delay tuh.
Fills the void. They
Langsung
are
delay
perfectly
banget.
in unison.
Ada
T1
ulti
shoulder to shoulder, making
Vice.
EDG again look frayed around the edges.
There's just no time left either. Meteor's
Dapat sih.
still on the hunt. Look
He's
at
hungry. Oh, he wanted more. Juju denies, but still, this is done. 9
Gila,
seconds
T1.
with a fork in it.
Super
Simon,
team
there's nothing to do
is
but
back.
die. This dominance from T1 is absolutely gorgeous to witness. They've got a great read, and EDG look asleep.
Meteor's decision-making is so snappy in those moments too, right? He gets the first kill, doesn't immediately pop the ult because he re-clears and waits and says,
Meteornya
"Is there gonna be a
main
second player
langsung
to come in and
kebantai
sweep?"
semua, bro.
Once there isn't, then the Steel Garden comes down after Kong's already been sacrificed into the site. It's just these perfect moments of stall that continue to come in, and EDG have no response.
There's one watch party I'd like to be in, and the other one probably less so right
Now,
now.
one's a party, the other one is not.
Yeah, early showers control, looking to try and fight for that. Not quite feeling the space behind it yet, still being shouldered on the corner there by Sylvan.
Cool anti-read. Sylvan's going to take contact, but Stax has a judge because last time on the eco, EDG attacked into lamps.
Wah.
The operator not big enough for you. He fancied
Untung.
a go on the ult as well. No worries, okay. Doesn't get the connection he wanted, but repositioning T1 feeling a little
Wah, ini
confident,
masukin
right?
ini.
Feels like
Bahasnya
they're
bahaya nih.
willing to fight on this, feeling like they're favored, and right now they certainly are. Big shot!
Gila.
Beautiful. Can't switch out in time though. EDG trading back in. Nice though from Stax. Holds it
Wah,
down
mahal
once
banget.
again. Denying the split, denying the punch. Stax in control. Nobody got anything. He's got himself Phantom, maybe a chance here.
1-on-2, but no options to get to the teleporter anytime soon. 45 seconds to work with. Now that he's spotted out, has to take the shot to take it down. He's gonna barely be able to escape and get the spike on the ground.
He's gonna get out of there. Fragment, knife, all still in play.
But there's like a seize as well, potentially to try and catch him.
Dapat
Izu's gonna
nggak
try
sih?
and make sure he can't escape.
Tipis anjir.
It's away from the tether, but nobody gonna just play towards elbow. It feels very predictable, readable, but does T1 get away with this? Can they clear
Nobody.
this cleanly?
Nggak
Yeah,
kuat.
they can. T1
Dua-dua
again,
masalahnya.
just not looking phased. Again, in my mind, there's a lot
Satu
to be
hit
said
doang
about
itu.
T1 playing incredibly well, but EDG looking flat, and it feels like we're at that impasse almost between these two teams.
What I'm impressed with is even if you ignore all of T1's utility, just their sight holding mechs playing off one another. They're quickly repositioning, but always putting themselves in positions where there's two people looking, holding complementary
Mahal tadi tuh
lines
si
on every single
Basnya
aspect
dapat
of
cicu
the
tadi itu.
Yeah, that's what's gone so well for them.
Shutdown
It's
banget
simplistic,
itu.
but it works. It works so beautifully. I feel like we haven't
Udah nggak ada
seen
yang
too many
bisa
players in this kind of
apa ya,
committed
faktor
phase.
X
We haven't
gitu.
seen them trying to pull that rotation too much. Yeah,
Di
maybe a
EDG.
little bit of early contact, but beyond that, it's very
Ini kalau
simple
Kangkangnya
and
udah nggak
approachable
main,
EDG in these
cicunya
simplistic kind of 3-2
harus
splits
bisa main sih.
are being met with T1 reading it easily, not feeling
Sisanya
phased,
pelengkap doang
not
itu.
feeling pushed off. I want to see them get a little bit more complicated with this. For now, Operator's still in play for Buzz. That was recovered in the last round.
But finally, EDG have the old cycle working in their favor again. I think they're going to look for a quick attack over into the safe side.
He's looking disruptive though. Tries to divide. Get in front of the
Udah kelihatan lagi meteornya di situ.
Play from Buzz. Controls towards Shower.
Dapat ya?
Gives a little bit of
Ini
space to
dapat.
fall back from, but he fights forward. Still goes for
Gelo,
the
Bas.
Looking electric right now. Nobody and Smoggy, the only two on their feet trying to get
Wah,
to the
mati
right
tapi
front
Sylvannya.
here. Fighting together. EDG controlling backside.
It's a brilliant
Dapat sih ini
call from
EDG.
EDG to keep fighting forward, just get away from the operator.
Lah,
But Izu
malah
has
putar
still
lagi.
been holding on this B site the entire time. EDG
Lah.
left Simon to deal with
Wah.
the late, and they can even
Nggak tahu
get
kah Izu?
into him if he finds the pick on the
Izu?
look.
Wah, nggak dengar kah?
Tahu
Tahu sih harusnya.
Got to, they do.
Ah.
Smoggy gets him. Rotation caught. EDG finally getting a second.
Wah, 9-3 Israel kah?
That's EDG
Skor-skor
found
comeback
a
ini.
moment to actually thrive in the chaos. Seeing that narrow path forward. Because without Shower's control, it was very near to slip away. Buzz played it super nicely, dodging out on the flash, coming back in for the swing. But EDG managed to pick up Simon, leave him as that late lurk, and call themselves out of a really tough round.
Oh, buset, Kangkang.
A little bit of a buffer, not much. It's 2 rounds. You gotta. I want to see at least 3 here. Izu, red alert. Does he get to live? No one there quick enough to chase him down, but certainly enough to pressure towards Zuka.
Last time EDG used the Brim ult to exec into the B site, removed a lot of the corners T1 have been abusing in this game. Looks like they want to have some repeat success with that one. Now that they baited out the KO knife, they can look to pop into the site quickly, but T1 have done a great job to rotate 4 players into the space and get the full walk up with Buzz out of Showers.
Tahu ini, cicunya tahu ini. Basnya ngeflank ini. Harusnya tahu sih. Bener kan? Tahu kan cicunya?
He read it really well then. Very present to keep that in mind, and that should open the gate towards A. Now you don't know how
Basnya
much
selalu
really
dari
can,
abad
but
sana ya.
This is certainly indicative.
That said, still a lot of utility here. Meteor can play around, stalling it out for the rotates to come on in. He's got a friend in
Rotasinya
Stax, getting
selalu
in
dari
front of the
situ dia.
smokes.
Meteor?
Wah, nggak kelihatan.
Feeling all mad about that one.
Kangkangnya udah di atas.
That he was able to satchel over the top to take the space away. Dealt with it
Mahal.
well. Again, starting to warm in this.
Wah, menyala ini Kangkang.
Sylvan, tough predicament to play out from. Plenty of ults, nice from Simon. very aware round from EDG. Maybe a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel here. Izu,
Lizu.
a highlight player for the 1v4.
The next round.
And it's not going to be answered today. EDG getting the minimum rounds they can here. 3, barely enough to work with.
Yeah,
9-3, bro.
At the end gives them some amount of hope. But this half they're about to go into, the attacking side, they only got 1 round versus T1 last time. They've got to look mad different if they're going to take this first map.
Info banget itu tadi tuh. Kangkangnya bisa di atas.
Had it with your old phone. We've got you. At Verizon.
Siapa yang menang ini ya? Berarti final nanti lawan G2 kan? Itu menang 2-0 juga loh lawan EDG. Pada mulai panas-panas semua nih.
So far here in Bangkok, T1 are currently 17-8 in pistol rounds. They lead the event in these low buys, and EDG are trailing big time coming into the second half. For EDG, they have to start out on a strong foot here or quickly start thinking about Haven.
Yeah, that is the conversation. We are in best of 5, so the conversation gets, you know, it's longer. It is the marathon and not a sprint. We love to repeat it, but it is true. But the confidence alone that T1 should be able to take away from that first half is unbelievable, right? To be able to come into this, look near on faultless, and EDG scraping by with 3, it puts them right under the gun again.
It's a lot of pressure on EDG for sure. Looks like T1 want to set up over towards this A side early. You can see Simon playing all the way back in spawn, ready to quickly rotate whichever side of the map needs him. With that Teho drone going down B, seeing nothing. Now Simon can repo over towards A and have the knife ready to stall the hit.
That's nice.
Wah, kena bener Smogi.
And fair enough.
Guess it's a 4v4.
and again, Izu, not one of the standout players, at least so far in this map, but he's certainly been a name that's been catching a lot of attention throughout, so see if he can maybe start heating up as well. But hey, it's been the Meteor show so far. Lovely flash. What? How are EDG the ones to walk out of that okay?
Just keep left clicking, I guess. Eventually it's going to work out.
Oh man,
Wah,
that's
Stax.
wild. Stax and
Bagus banget.
this round is ridiculous.
Mollynya bagus banget, Stax.
Did he get spotted? He did.
Yeah.
Nobody really sharp. But it's down to Izu. 1v2, not easy, and nobody not letting
Udah
it
kelihatan
slip
ya.
now. Diffuse for EDG, and that round felt bizarre.
It frankly was. Every time a team was at a numbers disadvantage, they're getting multi-kills the exact same time. But that is now 3 rounds in a row for EDG. And remember, this team played T1 on this map before, and they got kind of blown out of the water, especially on their defending side. T1, I think, did a very good job of punishing towards the B side of the map pretty consistently. Usually it's just going to be Chichu and nobody playing over on that side, but looks like EDG have changed things up slightly. Chichu's playing 2 rounds in a row over towards A. So we're trying to make sure T1's prep isn't so simple coming into the second half, and already showing the adjustments that'll give EDG fans hope that they have a better plan coming in this time around.
That is something we need to look at throughout this series, is those adjustments, right? A lot of the maps now being seen, a lot more being revealed from both of these sides.
Frankly, it seemed like the adjustments for EDG have been a weak point. If you take their series yesterday versus G2, this is a team that learns from their mistakes, that can tap into their individuals and that firepower too when the actual planning, when the calling isn't going right.
for EDG here, you're looking for clean rounds. They do have a better weaponry. Oh, Buzz! He's right behind you! And he's got help!
Wah, mahal, Buzz.
Just decimating them! He's on 5 HP, but he's still swinging! Okay, Spike's gone down. We've got
Nice
Chichu and
hit,
Smoggy
masih
coming
bisa
back
deh.
in.
Oh, that's a huge knife. It's going to spot both players. Meteor's right
Dapat nggak nih
flush with the
Smoggy?
wall again.
Wah, nggak kelihatan.
You can't let him get away with it, T1!
GG T1.
Steal away the round, and EDG again being punished!
T1 in that cubby corner on B site. Just own EDG. This team can't do anything about it. Both halves now. To come in with a MasterCard thrifty with Buzz somehow getting that timing into the smoke is crazy.
This is near on unforgivable, though. You got given that tiny bit of chance. And you can see what it does to the opposition. You can see how much that gets them closer to that finish line for map 1. They're up to 10. EDG, the opportunity dwindling here. Can they replicate the same sort of thing? Sheriffs, Stingers, Classics, it ain't much, but Smoggy is gonna give it a damn good go here. Not sharp enough this time. And again, you don't fight one of T1. There's 2, there's 3. They are all there. I like the fast flank, but what does it matter when they're gonna have side control unless it's a little bit of stall?
Yeah, EDG trying to dominate space into lamps
Contohnya
right
tahu
now.
tuh.
Buy some time,
Wah.
but Buzz perched up in heaven is now gonna switch over, get the
Aduh,
spike
udah
on the ground. That's more
ketahuan tadi
orbs
itu.
to him.
Dengar dia.
Going T1's way.
Chichu taking the very long road to get over here.
Wow.
That's comfortable, and now the quiet is so
Next game
loud.
sih ini
The fact
kayaknya
that
nih.
no one's seen Chichu. Surely someone goes, probably a flank here. We still have
Ente nih,
Runners
DG.
might have taken the long route. He does get a step closer, but look at these repositions in the post plant. No one's really vulnerable to him trying to work back into this. He'll have to give away the game by obviously tapping the spike. There's the
Wah,
awareness
Chichu
now.
anjir.
Meteor goes down for it.
Mahal nggak nih?
He cost him any more, Chichu.
Ah, nggak bisa sih.
Someone will
Nggak
check.
bisa sih.
And it was Buzz.
Tinggal
Easy
dia.
in the end, 3 standing, 11 rounds, EDG. You had your chance. You might have let it slip.
Certainly seems that way. T1 not phased at all by EDG because they kind of know that whenever on defense EDG run into some trouble, they just start walking at you. They say, hey, individuals go get some kills. That first fight down short didn't work, so of course Chichu's going to be finding some opportunity on the flank. This is kind of the last chance now for EDG. Light armor on 4 players.
Kang.
Buzz with some options here on a judge to wreak havoc to the lightly shielded players.
On off from the ult as well. Buzz closing in on that. Now, how do they want to
Fast
start
learned
into
banget
this?
loh ini,
They don't wanna
T1.
hurry. 11 to 4.
Yeah, often T1 will slow things down, see if EDG are going to overstep, and then they can bank off of Stack's ultimate to actually
Langsung bener-bener
exit into
beda
a site.
mainnya.
Main problem is going to be the Vise playing away from the util. That's stacked over on A short.
Hong Kong. Takes a lot to be brave in these situations, but they're going to try and stand and fight on this one, and they might get punished. Buzz, head first, Meteor with the 1-2 punch. T1, they're already in on the
tahu dia
site.
tanam.
EDG had a quick rotate off the back of the
Simon
drone
nya.
that went down from nobody. So they have the extra body here. Simon is at least controlling some of the space. Chichu now, working back in through from lamps. Going to be forced away from this, though.
Needed that. Now EDG
Wah,
come on in, but
nah.
Sylvan still locking them down, seeing just a pixel angle over the smoke.
Yeah,
Susah ini.
Chichu and nobody up against it now. T1 with the numbers. Izu waiting and watching, controlling so much of this site. There's nothing for nobody to do. He makes it go, but it is nowhere near good enough. 12 to 4.
Entit.
T1
EDG.
are out for blood.
It's just a beautiful thing to watch right now. First, it's the pop flash, then this shot.
Bas ini paling nggak pernah menurun banget loh. Paling stabil menurutku itu duelisnya.
That's netting them a kill somehow. Then their fundamentals in the post plan always getting ready to swing off
Pasifik
one
ya,
another.
kalau di internasional
EDG,
mah
what do
nggak
you have
terlalu
left
ya.
in the tank?
Cuma
There's
di
a tail
Pasifik
open, it's
stabil
4
banget nih orang.
Guardians and a judge. About as bad as it can possibly get here on 12.
Scraping what they can together. Making something out of nothing. Trying to at least. Chichu holding the corner. Trying to show a little presence. But there's a lot of players heading their way.
If they lose Hookah, it's over for EDG. Thorns buying some amount of time for them to look back in towards Octagon.
So tense between these two, though. So you're going to trigger the wall towards
Wah,
home. That's a lot of bodies now spotted.
Trigger dulu
Looking
dorang.
at Meteor's timing here. Does he try and catch a little bit of a window on it? Oh, and he's rewarded. Nobody to
Mahal,
Getting
dua.
away with murder. And T1 just
Gila
explodes.
T1.
Kangang and Simon
Wah.
left to pick up the pieces. Oh, he's trying. Simon's trying, but
NTDG.
enough. Map 1. Like
Hello,
a dagger to
T1.
the heart of EDG. T1 walk away at 13-4.
Just devastating, destructive. Meteor and T1 just waylaid EDG out of this.
Ambil minum bentar dulu ya, lihat. Guys ya.
Habis ya? Alpenliebe Eclairs, permen coklat pas di kantong. Alpenliebe Eclairs, nikmatnya permen coklat kaya rasa dibalut karamel lembut. Alpenliebe Eclairs.
Yang ngangenin di lebaran tuh pelukan oma opa yang hangat banget. Lihat deh, keluargaku gayanya keren-keren. Nah, kalau tante ketemu bunda, jadinya keluar deh. Ada si om lagi asik sendiri. Hai om. Ternyata bunda masih suka manja-manjaan sama oma. Itu sepupuku. Dikit-dikit mereka pasti ngonten. Kalau ayah main sama opa, pasti nggak mau kalah. Kalau adik ngajak main mulu nih. Tapi itu yang aku kangenin dari lebaran. Gak sabar tahun depan kumpul lagi.
Hello everyone, Jen Lee here with Coach Autumn. Now Autumn, starting with Meteor's ace, everyone on T1 looks extremely locked in and dialed in too. So my question is, what did you guys have for breakfast? Where is this confidence coming from? 감독님, 메테오 선수의 에이스부터 시작해서 정말 선수들 모두 오늘 최고점을 찍고 있는 것 같거든요. 도대체 T1한테 무슨 일이 있었던 걸까요?
아무래도 선수들이 저희가 한번 지고 나서부터 오히려 그거를 동기부여 삼아서 우리가 여기서 배운 게 있으면은 그걸로 이제 극복해주자. 다음에 또 만나게 되면 무조건 복수할 수 있다라는 자신감을 심는 데 집중을 했고, 선수들이 실제로 오히려 저희가 목숨이 없으니까, 뒤가 없으니까 정말로 자기들이 가지고 있는 모든 걸 보여주기 위해서 게임하고 있다 생각하거든요. 그래서 그런 자신감의 원동력이 선수들의 절실함에 있는 것 같습니다.
after dropping that one game against EDG, we just felt like, you know what, we have nothing else to lose. Let's have a lot of confidence. So confidence was definitely something that we worked hard on to build. And also because we have our backs against the wall and now we have no chance to fail, everyone's just stepping up, trying to prove what they can do and show the world that we can be a best team. And that is the source of our confidence. Thank you, Autumn, and good luck.
Ain't that the damn truth? Welcome back, everyone, as T1 absolutely dominate the competition 13-4 to open up RBO5 here on Vine. Of course, Boldboy alongside Brendan Mimi. And let's take a look at our HyperX Reflex moment of the day. You already know what's happening, people. It's going to go to Meteor. Mimi, I didn't even get to watch this, so I'm watching this for the first time.
They're practicing confidence, and there's no better way to start than this. They went in like lemmings. Look lackadaisical coming out of the smoke, and they get cut down by Meteor. What a round it was for him to kick this game off.
Yeah, I mean, it's explosive, isn't it, to just begin? I mean, one of the things that you pulled and were talking about briefly, I think, was just T1 success rate in pistols, and I know Ender was talking about it as well.
They've been the best team this event.
And it just starts them off on a lightning-fast pace on Bind. It's a map where you want to get going strong. Really pretty frequently, I think, as well, and if you can do that against the attack side compositions.
God damn!
This is just not normal, man. It's not normal what Meteor was doing to them.
379!
To open up like this in the best of 5 setting? Listen,
Yo, didn't we go into the half and my guy was at like 20 kills or something
Literally.
like
I just sat down and we had to get back up again. Like, me complaining I have to work, but honestly, this was just like a rapid map. It felt like we barely got started.
I wanted to show a couple rounds as well, because it felt like that pistol round was not the end of the struggles for EDG. They're playing a composition here that is really exec heavy. They have the KO, they have this Tejo, they have a lot of exec power. But what they were doing round after round was running these executes on B. And what T1 was doing was flying back in their opponent's smoke, waiting out the first volley of utility, and then immediately surging back in, flashing forward with their own KO, flooding through those smokes, and just decimating EDG.
And honestly, I think T1's protocols were pretty good in terms of just trying to play around Simon's flashes, but Simon wasn't flashing. Like, I gotta be upfront about this. I think that the initiation factor was kind of missing for them. So many of these hits are going through because they don't slow play enough, don't pull out the prerequisite util. Thorns are slowing them down. They only started doing it round 10, 11, 12 when he started actually slowing down the game, pulling out the util so they could go for some of those hits.
Yeah.
But by that point, it's too late, man. I mean, you're coming into the map with completely the wrong game plan overall, and it didn't fill me with confidence whatsoever. Now, they did eventually get a handle on it, but like I said, when you get to that second half, you're already down at that point, and then you get thriftied after, you know, winning your pistol round where it should be you getting a step up. It doesn't look good.
They lost this map last time, 13-7. This time they lose it 13-4. It only got more dominant for EDG, and I'm so disappointed because I think the prep should have been around the fact that you're playing into a comp that has some of the strongest stall utility in the game. You have a Brim, you have a Vise going up against you. They weren't baiting out the Thorns the majority of the rounds. When they were defaulting, they weren't actually taking those timings they found to go for their executes. It just looked completely out of sorts for EDG.
Guys, you keep talking about plays, where you put stuff, and who you shoot, what you do. The reality of the situation is, T1 don't give a crap. They are vibing. They don't care. Whatever happens, happens. They're big chillin'. And when you're a big chillin', let me tell you, you're feeling pretty damn good. Especially when you're going into Haven and you get to run the ISO potentially here. Who knows what the hell they're gonna do? I mean, this, guys, that's insane.
I don't think Media's ever lost in the Gulag. Listen, he pulls into that kill contract, he's getting a kill almost every single time, bro.
Yeah,
almost
like
100% of the time. Yeah, he's different. When they play on this comp, they are different, T1. And they've set themselves up so nicely for a deep run here now in this best of 5. Now listen, it's still anyone's game. These are marathons, not sprints when you get into this territory of tournaments. But this is such a great beginning for T1. And what Autumn said really resonated with me out of the coaching interview, which was him saying that they're playing with no pressure because they've realized it's kind of like, you know, it's house money, the pressure's off their shoulders. If the whole team is bought into that mentality, it's very dangerous. I'm gonna say it. I've seen one team do it once before in my very long years of esports. I'm not gonna mention the team or the game, but listen, what I will say is they won the whole bloody thing. They won the whole bloody tournament when they had that mentality, when they were just letting loose, having fun, and all the pressure was off.
Welcome yang baru join. Hari ini kita Restream VCT dulu ya kan.
You're in this situation, you know the fans, all these people
seru
here,
nih
they go
soalnya nih.
nuts whenever EDG does something. You know, Kong breathes, and people are like,
Lower
wow,
final
you know,
lagi.
losing their mind. And you know what it is, Mimi? That builds on you after a while. I have to
Map dua apa
imagine.
ini?
And for T1, they're like, sure.
Yeah, I mean, EDG, they won the championship in Seoul,
Heaven
but
kah?
it is still a team
Heaven
with a
map
lot of
dua
young
kah?
players. It's the first time they've had the expectation
Oh, iya bener,
of
Heaven.
being champions and are the underdog from China. And they're coming into
ISO
Haven, which they are
langsung.
yet to play at this event with a comp change
Meteor.
compared to China. It's nothing crazy. Breach, Taeho going into the
Masih
mix.
pede banget dia
going
loh.
up against a T1
Main
that is
ISO.
undefeated on Lotus, friend.
And for EDG, I hate
Tapi
to
aman
say
sih.
it, but I need to
Bagus
see
juga
better
setupnya
support
mereka
util
kalau
from Simon. I wasn't seeing it on Bind. It was almost non-existent in a lot of aspects, even though T1 had good game plans for it.
Push-side-nya.
But you are literally playing to essentially empower Kong to deal with two heavy hitters. He's got a tangle with Buzz and Meteor. Kang's got a hell of a job for him. He needs to be supported effectively.
Confidence is high. This is one of T1's absolute best maps, and they have a prime opportunity to go up 2-0.
Massive opportunity for T1 here. You're so right there, Mimi. Let's send it back over to your casters. It's Pansy and Ender for the call.
Menang siapa nih bro?
Yeah, no pressure on T1.
T1 atau
I guess if you want to put it that way.
EDG nih?
Now, well up to the good. The scoreline actually reflecting it too, right? Walking out with a 13-4. Amazing.
Just
now,
absolutely smashing.
Haven.
Masih BO3 ya ini ya?
Good here. They beat Vitality here. Now, did Vitality look good?
BO3 apa BO5 sih ini?
Absolute bin
Masih
juice
BO3
from
dong.
Vitality. But EDG, they're a little
Oh, BO5 deh.
in my mind.
Yeah.
Right? Map 1 wasn't a pretty affair.
Nggak
Those
mungkin
first
lah.
couple of rounds
Lower
were messy,
final
and
nih.
now we get
Masa
Meteor
masih lower,
able to call up
masa
his
masih
own number.
BO3?
We got Buzz looking to do it as well. EDG got their work cut out now.
Yeah, if you thought Meteor's Vise was good, let's see him on the Yoru. Already T1 moving 4 players into a very forward A lobby trap.
Gila.
Right up
Meteor
close
bisa main
personal
gini
next
nih.
to this smoke.
Berani banget. Tumben ada Korea berani main depan gini nih.
Do they clear? They do. They give
Mahal.
it a not enough. T1 trading out perfectly.
Gila T1.
Again, they stand
Gokil.
in unison, and they
Gokil, the best team memang di
destroy
VCT Pacific mah.
EDG and corners are their worst nemesis.
Harusnya mereka yang juara kemarin tuh.
Everything T1 does is just abusing close corners and good play, one off another. These little ping pong
Super
setups.
team.
Where you bait out the shot with one player or coming off the corner. I like that little paranoia used to support. Just having those extra layers of utility. And then the player's trying to run away, it just walks straight into your crosshairs.
And again, not only is it a frustrating round because you get melted like that, but you feel red. There's a lot of like compounding problems.
Tambah
for
lagi
EDG.
Sylvan
Now,
mekaniknya
that's the
bagus.
first round, we can shake it
Kemarin
off.
salah mereka
Any other day
tukar
of the week,
Sylvan
but
sama
only got
Carpe.
4 rounds in the last map, so I do worry a little bit here.
Mainnya
show
kembali
me
yang
more. You are the
T1 dulu lagi
champion,
jadinya.
The reigning champion, right? You're gonna have that big old
Lebih
title.
main
got
slow.
That big old, bracelet we keep going on
Kalau
about.
gini kan masih bisa
Learn a little bit
fleksibel
of
mereka.
something from this, right? Maybe not in this round. This is one sheriff and a classic or
Sure.
two. But after
Nggak
this,
ngandelin
a little bit
post
more.
plan doang.
That said, EDG have now found both Cypher tripwires.
Very nice.
T1 are leaning pretty heavily over into Link, and it's a bit messy, but EDG quick to pivot into C.
Okay, Izu now going to be threatened here. They're all on the
Waduh,
side. They're
rame
all
banget
towards
itu.
that smoke. There is a deadly threat until
Wah.
he can't deal with all of it. No, he can't! Better! Much better from EDG. Bursting
Mantap,
out together, fighting as a pack. Stacks, I was really in the, trying to
Sama
turn
ini.
up there. Calm it down. Kongkong's going to get that Phantom. He's good. Got this sorted Buzz. Going to have to give away the game.
Udah outlaw lagi si Basnya.
And for EDG, a critical round here.
Kabur gak sih?
Honestly, Buzz might just want to save this outlaw.
Udah outlaw itu.
Do good for him. EDG did a
Senjata
much better
mahal.
job clearing into that backside, like you're saying, right? I think Simon had a
Ini
great
saving
flash.
lah.
They're pushing through as the Omen smoke. That sort of allowed T1 to get the flood going. Ended up falling down, and their spacing as they went out. It's one after another. I think jumping too with the first player just to
Udah
disrupt
ada yang
some
pakai
crosshairs. Much better work
Phantom
than we've
juga
seen
itu.
so far from EDG.
Dapat banyak soalnya tadi kan.
This is just
Asisnya juga.
tempered towards the end there for Buzz. Just going to try and keep hold of this. This is a very well needed round though for EDG, right? I can't
Untung
stress
sih
it
ini
enough. As
EDG
much as yes, it is best of
bisa
5,
balik
yes,
ini.
it is a longer series in that regard. This is a confidence builder of a round, right? You're working together, shoulder to shoulder. It's just kind of brawling out. You make it count against much better weapons, right? It starts to feel a little bit better. Takes away a little
Ini
bit
pistolnya
of that
EDG
chip on the
dari
shoulder.
kemarin bagus
Actually
terus
kinda
loh ini.
shake off a little bit of the pressure. And how does T1
Kayak nggak
respond with this
ngaruh
as well?
banget
They
gitu.
could go for a bit of a broken by themselves, but it certainly won't be
Masih
pretty.
bisa headshot
Yeah, it's just
juga.
going to be the one Bulldog picked up from
Pistol
Meteor
roundnya.
because they only bought 4 rifles in the last round.
Dua round pertama lah.
And everyone on EDG has heavy armor, so this Outlaw not going to be too threatening. Early
Wah, langsung
combo
ke push
into A
dong.
lobby that EDG are just going to dodge away from and quickly clear into the space. They don't want to get into that situation where they have to re-clear A to a forward stack from T1 like on that pistol.
Udah full shield semua lagi.
You're right place,
Wah.
right time. Good trade for Kong Kong.
Bagus.
Keeping this now level pegging, but there are players on this side, so it could get a little bit scrappy. I want to see this kept clean from EDG. Buzz
Bahasnya mantap banget.
rattling a bullet through Kong Kong, and now they're down a player. And Stags, no! Oh, Simon does get headshot though. This makes him pretty vulnerable to this, and Buzz is feeling a little tricky.
Mahal,
Nice
Cicu.
from EDG. Navigating the threats, but
Silvan?
HP, Smoggy 10,
Silvan?
35, Silver trying to take
Ya.
better HP Chichu. It's possible
1
for
HP juga
Izu,
itu.
and it doesn't happen. Close,
Cicunya
not
udah
close enough.
sekarat
In
juga.
the end, EDG weathered the storm.
That's the control I was hoping to see out of EDG, right? As soon as they find that opening pick, they take it slower, right? They're holding for T1 to fight into them, as the disadvantaged team often needs to end up doing. Even here, where Stax is able to push into the smoke, EDG calmly deal with him.
A little bit of a fight. I like this from both teams now, even in these lower rounds, right? Pistols just coming out, right place for it. I like what they were trying to do, you know what I mean? Love this from both sides. Scrappy. 2 consecutive rounds here for EDG. They need this third. See how they start this.
Holding the stun just off of the contact, little combo piece to come through, and Kong Kong's quickly taken into the space.
Yo, that's right.
He gets
Waduh.
a kill!
He walks the smoke like that. Stack, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Simon.
Okay, Simon's just like, someone just got jump scared by this. Surely not a third, right? Surely not
Ah.
a third. EDG kept on their toes here, but doing
Kita lihat ya,
well.
X Factor menyala nggak nih?
Trailer
Cicunya
plays
nih.
crawling out from sewer.
Bagus terus dia
It's
nih.
unexpected, that's for sure. T1 were
3 ronde bagus
certainly
terus dia
trying
nih.
to get cute with it, and Izu as well takes the timing to isolate the fight. Spike's being planted too, so maybe with these cages and smokes going out, he has a timing window to slip into.
Silvan
Trying to get a little techie on this. I like that.
masih ngeflank dia.
I gotta say, Sylvan on that Omen, like it, like what we've been seeing from him.
Smoginya.
Probably one of those cerebral players I've seen as of late. But can they clear EDG? Dedicated in the ball. It's a belting
Gila,
shot,
bener kan?
But Chichu's here
Cicu.
now. Starting to warm up a little, looking much
Wah,
better
kelar ini.
overall.
Ma PDG nih kayaknya nih.
Player from this event, right? So to see him now back-to-back rounds, 3Ks for him.
7-1 overall.
Exactly, especially when these rounds are
Pokoknya
getting
X
a little bit
Factor-nya
closer than you
menyala.
would like from
Bagus
EDG.
ini.
Still, EDG dealing with these one-by-one walk-ups very nicely. Can't complain.
Pala terus dia nih.
Nice from Chichu.
Cicu.
They need someone to become a bit of a talisman for this team. Turn up when they need it. 7-1 certainly a good look, and maybe T1 just kind of slow it down a little bit. Go back to a little bit of the norm after what was a very interesting previous
Harusnya
round.
retake ini mereka.
I've got to say, I like Kong Kong going for the Outlaw here. I don't think enough teams have been abusing low buys by going for
Retake
these
aja
Outlaw
nih.
purchases, even on the
Full
attack.
pistol masalahnya.
That said, he's getting all the way in the backside of it. Look at that, that's pretty!
He tried to put on a
Hampir.
show for us. Stack's gonna stop him,
Hampir
but still, he
OTW.
should be dead in the water. Yeah, Izu.
Dia
Last
tuh,
one's trying to make a
Kangkang.
stand, but this is better from EDG. Controlled, poised, handled. Lovely stuff. Up to 4 now, making their response on the board.
And this was T1's map pick coming in to this series. Of course, Haven, very familiar territory. They've been strong on it so far. We hadn't seen EDG play this map just yet so far in this tournament. So far in the important swing rounds. all
Ya,
right from them.
basnya terlalu ke depan.
I think the big challenge is soon to come from EDG. They're dealing nicely on the anti-eco. They're now coming into a round where every ult in the game, basically, is going to be available. T1 have 4. Just the Euro ult they're going to be missing. Also looks like Buzz wants to buy down into an operator, so they saved into that. EDG will realize that and note that possibility coming out of the timeout.
Certainly will, and again, if we're going to note the early timeouts for EDG in map 1, have to say the same thing here for T1. Relatively early, maybe not as early, but still enough going wrong, enough to talk through here, because the rounds have been a little bit volatile, to say the least, from T1. Yeah. Maybe just settle into the game, slow it down a touch.
That's the thing, though. They always have the option to speed up in a mid-round, right? This team is going to combo the undercut from ISO with that Sova ulti just to get one-shots against you. They can use that Nate lobby. They can use that when you try to plant the spike, you know? It's very versatile. And, of course, the kill contract, too, for Meteor. Even just using that to disrupt a site hit, pull your jet out of the equation, well then how do you break out of a choke? T1 have a lot of different ideas to work with, and they're going to start out by opening strong into A lobby again.
4 players for T1 on this A side as well. All eggs in one basket. B side doesn't even have a trip towards it. They does have the player of Izu coming in, but once they're really committed, they do have the ult. Maybe it's just to put this in play, but EDG so far, right reaction, right approach.
Gak jadi A doang.
You're pinging out too the potential walk up, so not walking into that at all for the time being. Although now that they've used the drone, they're pretty committed towards this B or C side. It's very hard to re-clear A lobby without the tail drone, as we saw in the pistol.
I like it. I like that they've just started quickly here, still above a minute, cleared the trip through towards garage. And now they're just kind of going through a pretty well-rounded default, but on this side there is Buzz.
Tahu nggak sih Buzznya OP?
As an operator. This is a lot though. Got to imagine there'll be util here. Oh,
Gelo.
Right out
Ya.
of him. And now Meteor, you better not miss.
Untung Meteor dapat.
Kong goes down. It felt like death from either side.
Meteor calls it a kill contract. I called it kill steal.
Bisa gitu, Jir.
But still, Buzz is waiting on the other side of this smoke.
Lawannya ada sniping ulti beliau. Wah, mahal Buzz. Dapat sih, T1 dapat.
Put out, leaving Simon on 30 HP. Not gonna get it. T1 back in the game here.
Gak dikasih celah loh. Padahal udah bagus banget ngedodge-nya tuh Kang tadi. Oh, nggak ngedodge ya? Karena ulti ISO-nya. Pindah dimensi beliau.
Very nearly 3 kills.
But again, I do like how EDG started that round, going through the the protocol list, going down it, crossing the T's, dotting the I's, clearing the util. Sadly for them, went back in towards all those ults, and big investment on the other side now as well. Buzz?
I don't know what he's looking at, but right now T1 have slept down into
Wah,
it. And now EDG boxed into this A site, forced to move towards the operator.
Buzz got to get out of there. Yeah, takes the TP. Backs away, finds a new angle to play from.
Tetap susah sih ini. Bener kan? Tetap susah ini. Mau dipaksa juga. Malah rapat. Malah satu line gitu. Nggak kiri kanan.
The work Buzz has been able to do on these deeper lines with the operator on the A site has just been gorgeous. I mean, turning away, backing off the flash, swinging back into the angle again. It's just a thing of beauty. And EDG are forced into the play because of that early pick into mid. He's re-swinging the op line, using the clone to buffer it out as well. A flash too. Picking off Simon, jumping out of the air. That Yoru micro is just impeccable.
And I love this reactionary timeout from EDG. We saw it earlier for T1 pumping their brakes around that 6th round that they then converted. This operator coming out, the switch-ups they've had have been working. EDG unable to problem solve quick enough on the fly. They want to slow things down, right? This
ini bisa sampai 5 game sih ini.
Four in succession has got to feel good.
Full map ini kayaknya ini.
enough has been answered back. So time for them to prove that they can solve it too.
Really, if I'm thinking about, Coach approaching into this timeout, I'm thinking 2 rounds ago when EDG slowly worked in the mid space as a team and they used the Tejo drone into Garage. Then they didn't have it for the A lobby re-clear, so they were showing very early breach utility. That sort of primed and told Buzz this play is coming. So T1 quickly got in and were able to disrupt the hit. I think EDG, I like those looks where they're, taking into that mid space, dealing with the Cypher utility so that T1 can't just heavy stack onto the A side, but they need to keep that drone alive, or clearing out the Yoru from A long is just not realistic.
What is the solution for EDG here? As you said, couple options that they could lean towards. And does Buzz switch up now? Does he try and post up somewhere different? Is there a new look? We'll see. A different TP out as well, quite far away. And I don't think that's a bad read either. It feels like that C site, that kind of B pressure has been a little harder to handle, but again, very similar start here. It does look like it's intended to finish C. You still have Sylvan here. We did have that TP taken. There are players on this side of the map. There's a lot of players here. Buzz is going to let them know. That's going to ring the dinner bell. They want in. Sylvan's gone down. They find the site. Smoggy gets caught out. Izu's right there. Trading back and back. T1 trying to hold on, but Kang is tearing them apart.
Buset, top war apa itu, hey? Kangkangnya dapat flank loh.
Are you serious right now?
Wah, itu Kangkangnya tadi di mana itu?
Both of these players brilliant in their own way. Kang daring Stax to take a look. Stax, he still have a go, but Kang
Best duelist is back.
keeps EDG with a gap in the lead.
The number 1 player Valorant
is
back ternyata.
EDG choosing to speed up into that
Gila.
C hit.
Dia ngeflank kemana tadi berarti ya? Dapat semua loh itu.
Turns around into this fight in Garage. And yet Kang still managed to get into backside.
Saved
Di
him
flank
here.
semua.
He needed one of those. Top of the board now for EDG. Getting a little warmer. But T1 not done either.
I like the adjustment of those missiles twice in a row now. Buzz had to teleport away. Yet, if EDG run the same round, the trap setup in Garage is going to be deadly. Paranoia in Sylvan's hand.
Waiting on the verge for the commitment now.
Maksa nggak sih?
Back around towards B side, but information Buzz
Oh,
wants
Buzz-nya
it,
udah
he
ulti.
gets it. Plenty
Tapi
C.
tipis ini kayaknya.
Should be
TP nggak
enough
sih
to give
harusnya?
away the game. Buzz?
Wah.
Buzz?
Wah.
That's a little too far in my mind.
4 loh itu, Bas.
That'd work out. It's not gonna happen.
Gak bisa nggak sih?
Are you gonna walk smokes as well? I mean, he's got double tap on, but this feels almost too easy until then. He's the one to do well, but it's EDG finding stability after their own timeout.
I like the idea from T1, but that's a near sight, not a blind.
Udah 4 di side loh itu.
And Buzz ends up
Masih
getting
berani
punished for
gitu
that.
dia. Masih berani
EDG finding continued success
spawn di
with
depan.
mid works. Again, yeah, Chichu is still going to be able to see Buzz, who's trying to play that shorty game against him. Good reactions from him.
EDG starting to see Kang. There it is. Looking at this back again. He's starting to hit a little harder here.
It's not like T1 are making it easy. They're consistently flooding into sites. EDG are being challenged. But I think the more they see these rounds, the more they're ready for the fast retakes.
And this seems quite simplistic in approach because he's maybe feeling this, and maybe not this time too far. All alone,
Agak
no
panik
support. Gets done
Kangkangnya.
for. And Meteor taking a glance over the top of the site, but there's a lot of bodies here. Sylvan's still here. We've still got a lot to clear here for EDG. But they fight as one. They fight together. Buzz does some
Wah,
work.
belum
It's
stuck
all
lagi dong.
still traded out in EDG's side. Where the hell is Stax? Question
Bisa nggak nih
they
Stax
have
ini?
not answered yet.
Iya, salah. Crosshair placementnya sudah salah.
Back in this series now, 7 rounds, starting to look stable.
It does seem like EDG's utility is hitting its mark. That's another round where they fight into backside C very successfully. Really, it looks a little bit ugly because Kang drops down early on, but then EDG wait. That first re-swing isn't a great look for T1, then pushing through the cage does very nicely for them. It's going to force T1 down onto a bad buy.
And look, as simplistic as it sounds, we have to look at the scoreboard too. The difference between map 1 and 2
Habis
here,
terus
Chichu
perang terus
and
akhirnya.
Kung both starting to, warm into this, starting to just shoot back, right? It feels like it's been a little bit of an absence from that, but finding their footing now would be perfect.
Wah, how?
Yeah, that'll do it. That will absolutely do it. Still
Kang.
take him down. Slick moves, but it is a lighter purchase for T1, so we don't lose our minds just yet.
Yeah, Kong's doing some crazy flying business up in mid.
Waduh,
EDG, they slow down, they wait, they know T1's going to start walking. That again, it feels like a very different team compared to map number 1. Maybe that's a difference of the maps, of the work they've done.
Waduh, Izu? Apa bisa ini Izu?
Yet every time, even in these
Ya,
bad
kena
buys,
dia.
like Izu, I feel like he's been in these spots where his whole team is dead and he's still finding like 2 kills every time. It's a bit silly.
It's nice to see this life in EDG though, right? It just feels like we're back in actually getting the game here.
Gila,
T1, I mean, I need them to reply as well. I do think it's easy to overestimate a little bit of what they did if you're looking at that Vitality.
Masih bisa
I'll be honest, Vitality did
terbang
look good
beliau.
there. Clearly, they won't be happy with it either. They can watch that one back and tell you it themselves. But this is now EDG starting to stretch their legs in this series too, right? This is 8 rounds in their name, keeping T1 a mile away.
4 ults for EDG to work with. Early undercut, and Kong's up just doesn't pay
Langsung
off.
dibalas-balas.
That's one of the 2 heavy hitters removed, making it a little bit trickier. Chichu dead as well.
Terlalu berani Cicu.
Buzz, a big game hunter it looks like right now, leaving Simon, Nobody, and Smoggy to try and navigate this new threatening territory towards the A site.
48
As
kali
soon
ini.
as the Rolling Thunder comes out, it's a kill contract ready to just steal 1 player out of it.
Masih ada ulti sih si ininya, bridge-nya.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Udah langsung ini kan. Tapi ada ulti Aisyah juga.
This is actually going to be pretty interesting. Okay, Meteor does manage to get Simon. The site's still under scrutiny. Buzz, he's just coming alive here. He's still got to do a lot more though. Oh, Buzz, he's going nuclear on the site. Oh, it's incredible from
Buzz!
Buzz has just been otherworldly. The A site belongs to this man. T1 felt like all the momentum had been stolen away, but from start to finish in this round, Buzz was online.
Yeah, big game hunting. Look at him, the first 2 finding the top fraggers. Chichu, Kung gone, and then just says, I'll do it all myself.
No one's looking at him.
You can't keep your
Habis
eyes
ini ada
off him.
komentar lagi nih.
Today, it gives them a lifeline. It's a small
Who is
one,
the
but
best
it
team
is a
in the
lifeline.
world? Waduh.
Treat.
Udah bukan in Korea lagi, bro. In the world sekarang mainnya.
Not for you. You are from Americas. It's gonna be Tarek. You don't want to miss it. We love hearing from him. Big fan. At least someone from Sentinels made it this far.
สวัสดีครับโอ้โห วันนี้เราก็มาอยู่กับแขกพิเศษจริงๆนะครับผม and ladies and gentlemen let's give an official round of applause for Tarek wow amazing crowd and it's such an honor to have you here with me. First things first, who are you supporting in Masters Bangkok?
It's a good question. Actually, I'm a big EDG stan, but I'm actually supporting T1 because I think Buzz and Stacks deserve a win. So T1 fighting.
โอ้นะครับสำหรับคำถามแรกอยากรู้ครับว่า Tarek เนี่ยซัพพอร์ตใครนะครับผมเขาบอกว่าจริงๆแล้วเนี่ยคือชอบ EDG นะแต่ว่าเพราะบัสกับแซกน่าจะควรได้ชัยชนะบ้างเลยคิดว่าอยากให้ T1 ชนะนะครับผมในวันนี้ส่วนคำถามต่อมาครับนี่เป็นครั้งแรกที่เขามาเยือนประเทศไทยนะครับเลยอยากรู้ว่าประเทศไทยเนี่ยเป็นยังไงบ้างนะครับ Next question, you just mentioned that this is the first time that you're in Thailand. I would love to know how is Thailand treating you so far?
Oh my God, Thailand is amazing. I haven't actually stepped out to this area of the crowd. You guys here are the best. Big shout out to everyone here. I love Thailand, and yeah, it's been awesome. A pleasure more than anything.
And it's also an honor for Thai people to have you here in our soil as well. Any last words to say before we go back to the game?
Let me do it again. Go Valorant!
Hey, go Valorant! And that will be it for now. We'll bring you back to Haven.
Just a Valorante lover. What can you do? just cheering for a good game.
Yeah,
What a guy.
You respect it.
Love that. 8-4 though,
Harusnya
right?
T1
We
bagus
bounce
ini.
back in on this.
Jadi
This has
apa?
been
Attacker.
a road to recovery for EDG in my mind. Correcting map 1 and looking a little bit better in this, and by actually quite a large margin. One, Kung way better in this one. Chichu way better. Simon showing up. We're starting to see those individuals now. 4 rounds for T1 is workable, but it's not easy.
I like this setup.
Oh, kelihatan.
Wait, we're just dropping the and he's taking it.
Kang.
How did he get the second? How did he get the first?
It was like it was a nice setup, and then he just decided he was going to front 4 players on long.
It must be nice to be Kung, right? It must be nice. Even in your errors, you still look so good doing that. Izu, Buzz, and Sylvan, they're scratching their heads. What the hell just went on? He's yeah. This is nah. Buzz is feeling very uncomfortable. Every angle feels threatening.
Wah.
He's down to what?
Tidak diberaniin sama Bassnya. Tapi
Still
TP
down
sih dia.
for a chance here.
Blind
Space
TP.
on A, and Buzz,
Dia nggak bisa TP.
he's selling them hook, line, and sinker here.
Yeah, he's trying to do his best, but there's players enclosing him from every single direction.
Yeah,
Good news, I
di-flank
suppose,
duluan
for
sama
T1
Chichu.
is Spike is surely to end up getting planted here. Quick jump to the trip. But Izu's going to have to get active and start fighting forward, finding some kind of a pick if T1 are going to have a chance.
Surely not, right? Surely not.
I mean, those corners have been tough for EDG.
Tahu nggak nih?
Don't mention
Harusnya
it.
tahu sih.
There's no way. They still
Isunya
so
di
much
situ.
util.
Wah, apalagi ada smoke.
Okay, they're not coming in just yet. But they...
I'm not having it.
Bagus sih,
I'm not
bagus,
having
bagus.
it. I can't allow this to happen. Why do I feel like it might happen? Izu.
Berani, harus berani
Izu.
masuk. Kalau
Yeah,
enggak,
okay, nice. Get
susah.
cleared. That's fine. It's all fine. We make it through the round. EDG have 4 standing. Kung managed to get 2 magically. I don't understand it, but it's all good. EDG up to 9.
That's the thing, though. If you can rely on Kung to get 2 kills at the start of every round, you're
Mahal
winning every
banget
round.
Kang.
You know, like,
Tang, hulu.
yeah.
This game works different.
Oh, so the first shot was actually a collapse. So it was a headshot and a double body.
So reasonable.
Yeah, makes sense.
There he is.
Dia kayak tambah gemuk ya.
There he is.
Habis
That
juara
means for
pada
him,
tambah
that's gonna
gemuk
be an
gidang.
alpha purchased
Yeah.
in the second round.
You're really going to get like a 13-4, both sides here, on each other's maps as well. There's a potential for it. I don't know if T1's going to let that happen, but for now, going to be looking to flood towards this C side. We've got a plenty of player here as well. Chichu, one of them. Going to be guarding towards backside, turns the flash as well, turns it as well as he could at least, but still going to get his man T1.
Bagus
What
banget.
are you doing? EDG, this is not the
Bagus
round that you
banget.
let slip.
It's the inverse of the first half.
Saving nggak sih Kang?
An outlaw alive in 1v1.
Kang.
Might just be better.
Oh, there's
Kang.
Kung right now. And Buzz is on 1 HP. And remember before how this happened. Buzz against Kung, and this time Buzz holds his nerve.
Belum tahu dia.
Glance, did he take a look? He does now. The
Ya.
shot. 1 HP and a
Anjir.
enough for T1 now.
Kang, sedikit lagi anjir.
All of a sudden, that hope that was lost just brought right back. I mean, it's a great flash. Gets 3 players.
I thought they were able to like get away from that a little bit, but man. And then look at Kung, right? It's like suddenly, oh, we've got 3 players, all
Yeah.
good. Oh no, we don't. We've got 1, and he's 1 HP. Oof.
Good thing Buzz won that 1v1 at the end, because I think he sold his teammates out, jumping away at the teleport after getting flashed on up.
Why do I? Oh, Kung.
Oh.
He's going for it. Knives are out.
Buset.
Let's have a go.
Dengan pede beliau, bro.
For the fight too. He's right up
Waduh.
behind him. Does he get a big start
Waduh.
place here? Our drone's coming, but he doesn't care. See me all you want.
Waduh.
It's Izu to catch
Isu
him.
yang nge-kill dong.
Deny this. Stacks gets out with his life, but the pressure's still coming. But look at the TP. Buzz is
Gila.
right back behind them. T1 running it back.
Buzz.
Spawn.
He's on 1 HP again, getting a 3K.
Oh, Smoggy. They're not going to come towards this
1
side now. They're like, no, no,
HP,
no, no.
bro.
We're going to take no risks. Let's get out of here. Let's go somewhere else. This game just feels like it's starting to get a little crazy already.
Yeah, I think Buzz had the TP prime to go back over towards C early on. Just snapped back in. Got super creative with the pinch, and this is what T1 are so cool at, right, with this comp. The different map rotations they can make, the combos of utility. They can be kind of anywhere at any point in it, especially on an attacking side. EDG, when they start losing numbers, that is going to start creating gaps around them. If Chichu ever falls or his util is broken, EDG are going to be very mindful, finding where potential lurks from T1 can be, where these TPs can wind up too.
Smoggy.
Udah saving aja Smoggy.
Just keep what he has. That would be lovely, the best outcome possible. Now, let's kind of call it what it is. There's a lot of room for EDG to take their time here. Now, not, you know, complete and utter, you know, foot off the gas sort of situation, but they don't need to be in a massive hurry. It's all good.
Yeah, we saw the big mid walk that last
Maju
round.
dikit.
I'd expect to see them go back to defaulting a little bit more towards A lobby control.
Aman.
Crowd loves to stave. They can't get enough of it. But you're right. I feel like this could just be one of those like kind of like baits though, where it's like, yeah, the TV's ridiculous. How are you gonna think about that? But I do feel like there's gonna be a bit of bait, right? Because I think EDG will just kind of pull it together, get the ults going, all good, right? There's been a couple of crazy rounds that have been kind of tipped out of the normal fashion they fall from that round 14 onwards. I think they can recover this fine. They don't need to hurry it. They don't need to be desperate at it. Keep composed, keep cool. I'm worried if we see more of those sort of rounds though from Buzz, right? Starting to see him heat up, starting to find that X factor for himself.
And the fact that Buzz has the dimensional drift is going to be the biggest problem for EDG in this round. T1 put down this early Cypher camera to clear out these A players tagged into. They see the jet, so this Yor is going to be faking over to the C side before snapping back into the team and re-clearing the other forward spots.
EDG are here though.
Oh,
oh my god, oh my god.
Gak
This
tahu
could
dia.
be devastating. It can still work out in his favor. How's he gone away with this? I don't get it. Buzz, almost on a platter, does go down, but he sees it all.
EDG do so well to just hold their ground during that play, not get fooled. But now T1, they've left Izu into short. The drone isn't going to spot him away, so while T1 create massive pressure onto the C site, get that spike onto the ground, Izu needs to act quickly and come in on that flank.
Yeah, because they still have to withstand the potential.
Oh no, they're coming back into him. Here
They hit a double leave. They're going for a little double pump on this one. All right.
And they're going to leave Meteor front B as well. This is
Bagus
nice.
banget space-nya.
Little bold. I like it. Harder to retake this site than C for sure in my mind.
Meteor mau nge-flank kah?
Nice insert towards B.
Kelihatan Kangkang nggak sih?
Kangkang going on the flank, but they still have that util up.
Enggak sih, enggak.
I'm getting a little close here. Mon's going to be in. Now the time to activate for Meteor, and timing is everything. Flank on a flank, right? We've got Kangkang on one side, Meteor on the other. Oh, you got Smoggy turning around to a terrible surprise.
Tinggal tunggu aja ini Meteor.
And now they got problems. They wanted to pinch on that. Izu trying to play it forward, but Chichu succeeds. Nice from Kangkang. There's the flank coming in. Stax is over towards Quad. This is a lot on their shoulders. Meteor needs to be up to the task. Stax, oh, a nice try, but EDG stand firm here.
EDG keeping composed even while T1 play a beautiful round over the map. Letting them know it at the end there too. It was kind of crazy how Buzz wasn't able to find a kill, and then he maybe was, and eventually ends up getting taken down into long.
Kangkang lagi ternyata yang ngeratain.
But I think Kangkang deciding to go for that late flank too, the fact that he finds the kill is everything for EDG.
Watching that back, knife's edge stuff. By getting a little bit shoddy there, Izu going to be down to the Bulldog. We still have a couple of ults in play for T1. On the other side, nothing there yet, but some very close by. Tying things off, T1 trying to be subtle with their approach towards A, but a lot of commitment behind this.
And T1 can do some annoying
Harusnya
things
fast
here
plan
with the
sini.
Omen and the ISO ult. You can pluck someone off the site, then go for a deep Omen ult that could be unheard by the side anchor.
Oh, there's 4 players here. They've been able to stack this out. They want to have a brawl on it. Do T1 commit? They're giving it a go.
Nggak tahu Cyphernya anchor di
bagian
C sana.
Whoa, Kangkang does go down. Meteor back into the fray and back in towards the site. But EDG have bodies here.
Dapat nih T1.
Clean enough on that. And T1
Nice trap.
show them how to get around.
Buzz with another 3K. A double duelist combo coming up in a big way. Meteor finds the first pick onto the jet. Buzz shuts it down with the 3. Those execs can be so disruptive.
Do you think we get a timeout from EDG soon? Because you look at this, the succession around.
Gila, Meteor ini biar main duelis gini kayak tipenya mirip-mirip anchornya juga, Cok. Kayak udah ke bawah gitu. Tetap jadi anchor juga jadinya.
EDG weren't in a massive hurry. They didn't have to be too worried, you know, after that half. Now they got to start keeping a little bit of a closer eye.
Mahal, Kang.
And now we're talking. Oh, Izu, in a round like this, are we really going for that?
Oh, hello.
Peekaboo. This is still pretty risky, but he does manage it. He's fine in the end. Gets away from the threat from nobody, but Kang still controlling. Still posturing and threatening. The Owl drone.
Eyes on Garage right now. Izu looking for a little step out. Actually, sorry, Chichu. Just getting pushed back.
Go with it. This B plant here is risky.
Wah,
Stacks might die for it, and they already retake front site. Trying to disrupt the deeper lines is difficult, but it's certainly not impossible, and they have some numbers here. T1 making this hard work, but they're going to hold this down. They've got the ult to try and bank on.
Bagus
Already
banget.
Stacks does get a tag. Does at least deny that first attempt here.
He's trying to tap back on, but that pop flash is going to be brutal. Conquer with 3 though. Still has chances in this round.
It ain't over. Util coming in, pressure starting to happen here. Simon up against Izu. You gotta check on this, you gotta swing on this. He's got it, he had the info, and T1 have at least another go at things. Oh.
These rounds are just mental.
That was with like 2 sheriffs.
Yeah.
That was 2 sheriffs. And EDG are that threatening.
Good on Izu to close out the round there. We don't talk about it all the time, but this kid's flexibility is just absurd, right? Like, we saw him play the Fade to perfection on Bind. Now he switches over to Sentinel on the Cypher, right? Gets the wall hack, finishes the kill, but
paling males kalau di wallbang gitu loh.
That's where he really thrives.
That's true, but we also have the operator coming out for Kang. So that is where my mind goes.
Jelek banget mati gitu.
Identify this early. They get to find out where it resides. T1 will need to do their due diligence here. You don't want to run into that late.
Seems like EDG want to do a bit of baiting on C. They're going to let Smoggy take the first contact. Plays for that garage angle. A little bit more passive.
Gak kelihatan tuh.
Right there,
Cicunya.
Look at all those pings though. T1 knows something's up because they just droned A lobby and didn't see the jet.
Pindah lagi ke A ini.
But if they swing this corner,
ult to scan it.
there it is. Aya.
Info doang ini.
Not sure how much info they got. A fair amount, but the ice turning was enough for Kang. He's been in this position before, and he's succeeded. But they don't fancy it. They hear that up, and they scatter. Other side of the map.
Meteor.
Now they know. Meteor reminds them of
Benar-benar
who
jadi
he is.
anchor juga, bro ini orang.
Surely.
Bahkan dengan main duelis pun.
Still here. It ain't over till he falls. Spike should be planted. Nobody is here early. The temptation.
Wah, ngapain? Nobody ngapain?
As Kang called upon again. The man himself would need nothing less than an ace here. 2 already. Have to find the other 3. You can see him settling in, thinking about this site.
Ruginya rugi banyak.
Step by step, shifting away. I think he knows this one is out of hand. He knows that operator is far too precious to try and tussle with this site.
Yeah, nobody wants that crazy drop because he knows his teammate has the op. It would have been the only chance to get back in the round, at least go 1 for 1. Maybe there's an option there.
Waduh, malah jalan juga dong. Ketemu dong.
I do like the fact that T1, as soon as they identified that operator, were out.
Dipaksa ini sama stacknya ini.
None of it. It's big respect for a right reason. You saw how good Kang can be in these. He's quite patient there. That operator is a prized possession because look at their money. It's rough here for EDG. We've got kind of like 1.8, like a 2K. Sheriffs and light shields, and that's it.
Since losing the pistol, T1 the last 6 rounds. They've secured, they've slowed down the pace. They're dodging away from the Meteor activating on this crazy lurk up into Link. And now just
Masa nggak kelihatan dua tadi ya?
seems like they have the answers. They know that EDG
Pas kena
every
busnya
time on
tadi.
these ecos, it's been these slow walks out of mid, so they're going quickly to spot it out.
There's bodies here though. There's a lot of bodies here for EDG. Buzz, got to be careful now. Looking for some support here. The paranoia comes in, but it's a little bit too short. I think we find the connection. And Chichu.
Gila Cicu.
Beautiful from him.
Untung Silvanya TP di atas.
Weaponry. Kung has got a curious position. If they go for this B plant for T1, the post plant gets very difficult to hold if he comes into play. But he's been noticeably absent so far with that saved operator.
The smoke refresh comes in, so they're going to take the opportunity to go for the plant. T1 might start walking into A link. Thinking EDG are leaning heavy into C, but you look at what EDG are doing at the same time, going for the slow re-wrap.
Gak ada senjata nih, udah
These are
takut.
both kind of indicators, right? That no one's kind of fallen back. The Kung's heard nothing. He's still going to be very diligent clearing towards window, but Smoggy does so well. Hold on, it's game on. And now EDG needs to pick up the pace, but Silver stunning with Izu. Kung has to come forward, or it's going to be 10 apiece here. Kung given nothing. They know it. If he wants it, you got to really go for it, but they're going to force him again. Leave him on this operator. He's still going to drag one down with him. But the round nonetheless is T1's, and the slow march back to an even scoreline begins.
It's got to be so frustrating for Kung.
10 sama
He's just not
bro.
allowed to play. Just lost
Itu
before
sesuai
he can
dugaan
find
sih.
that impact.
Attackernya mereka bagus banget ini. T1 dari line up-nya.
Knowing ratting around the smoke. Smoggy finds the shot into Link. I mean, it's a nice round called, even on the low buy from EDG. They have not had a consistent answer in this half. Felt barely readable. On the light buys, they're walking up every single time. On the strong buys, it's usually been a fight over A space. Apart from the one round they showed the jet on towards Plat, and even then, T1 were able to call away from it.
And it feels like I've just rolled back in time, right? It's like, okay, I see a jet with an operator. It's not CNET anymore, but we're going to avoid him nonetheless, right? It's like, see that? We're going elsewhere. And I love the fact that T1 are respecting the impact that he's starting to have. I think that's a right call to make at 25 to 15. It's a much bigger performance, but EDG need to take back control of this game somehow. I mean, be it pressuring back, like they need something here. The Red Bull fan.
Don't know exactly what's going on.
No. Oh.
Nice to keep it a little bit lighthearted here.
Yeah, 10-10. Everyone's just like sweating.
In the midst of a comeback. But truthfully, I mean, the weird thing is because Kung's had to keep saving this off, and he hasn't had the impact. We haven't even talked about. Does very well against the operator.
Yeah.
ISO has the shield to block the first shot. Then his ultimate combined with your ultimate, they have perfect scouting to make it so hard to get consistent value. It's kind of a blessing and a curse that Kung so effective with this gun because they've kept going into it, and T1's calling has just dodged it.
And they evade him again. The operator is now toward A. T1. We've seen them approach this. Kung standing his ground this time. Maybe this time he'll get his man. Takes down Stacks.
Bagus banget, Bas.
Doubling down. Where did he get that
Tapi Simonnya dapat
from?
satu
Simon
juga.
is still here. Enough to keep the sight. Waving the EDG banner until Izu barrels on up. Now Smoggy feeling surrounded. Rightly so, they count it down. They swing together. We saw it before. Chichu was a mile away.
Hold on, Chichu's got the spike.
Oh, he's got his ult too.
But now that gives up his position as well.
When you're 1v2, Chichu, you've got your chance. Can you keep your team in the lead, or is T1's comeback inevitable, Chichu? Oh, it was bold, but it falls apart. T1 taking the lead.
Just an unbelievable round out of Buzz.
Flicknya
The fact that he's unfazed completely after this first kill goes down. He pushes forward, takes the timing, and they're lined up
next to each other.
Nobody's got his util out. It's just brutal. And it's all because he went for the early teleport that closed the gap. He snuck into the right side of Stack. He's in a position that no one on EDG thought he could possibly be.
The money. Look at the money. Oh my god, EDG, gonna have to face this with a scrappy buy. You got Guardians, you got Stingers.
Tiap ngepick kenapa sih harus depan belakang sama-sama gitu, bro? Selain gitu.
Easy to lean on.
Kan bisa kiri kanan gitu loh maksudnya.
Patience from T1. You don't want to fall into any sort of trap. Already though, proactive down A long, but still taking their time this time.
It's nice from EDG though, because the other rounds they haven't shown that A stack. they try and show a little bit extra presence, but T1 realize it hasn't been the walk there, so the mid walk is expected. And Izu's there for Sway, not going to get fooled twice on that angle.
So Chichu gone. Big players now as Smoggy and Kung Kung really timing on this drone. Gonna force Kung Kung away.
Here's the drone, has to fall off the angle, and he's got no protection in Garage. The Cypher out of the picture, no trips to hold his back. The hero rifle has to move forward.
And the hero standing tall this time has to slip away. T1 forcing back both fronts now. The walk down middle, the approach through C. And they keep EDG in the dark.
EDG might be reading this though. Simon and nobody already on A site and calling in Smoggy too. Izu is taking the opportunity to pop the ultimate in front B. That's a great moment, 30 seconds left on the clock, but T1 are sort of locked into this A hit now. Actually, they're not. They're gonna back away and try and fake this hit while the spike makes it into C.
This is unbelievable. Meteor is keeping so many players, and he's still thriving. Outnumbered on the site. He's still standing. Just
2-0. Gila, T1.
Making it to 12.
T1 just exec'd all 3 sites at the same time and won every single one of them. They're on an absolute tear, 6 rounds in a row, 8 of the last 9, leading every single move EDG are trying to take. And now 1 away from being up 2-0 versus the reigning champions.
Deep breaths now. We are watching something rather special here. 6 rounds in succession. T1 on the verge now of taking map 2. EDG too stunned to speak.
Expecting a quick tempo shift from T1. Once they deal with this tripwire in Garage, options to accelerate into C off the ultimates. Early canceled out. They see the players on the site, but Smoggy is here. Smoggy is waiting too. The EDG anchor, but T1 are not slowed down.
They needed someone, anyone to stand up, and Chichu's still here, but it's a little sloppy, but it's fine. He gets the job done.
Oh, Stacks. Nice banget itu.
In a 2v2, Simon's got ult. Surely that's enough to tip the scales.
Wah.
Down to a 1v1, it could close.
10 HP, 30 HP.
10 on one side, 30 on the other, and it's a clash around the back.
GG. T1.
13 to 10, looking bulletproof at the end there.
The thickest plot armor in the game, T1 are 1 map away from moving to the finals.
Apak is BK, Apak. Asia Pacific is BK.
Nice! Nice! 유병철. Nice! 와, 나이스! Nice! 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 유병철! Red Bull gives you wings.
body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
EDG had him in the first half, not gonna lie, but then T1 comes right back into it, and they win 13-10, and now the series is at 2-0 in favor of the #2 seeded team from Pacific. Let that sink in for a moment as they are going up against the world champions, and the #2 seed from Pacific is showing up big time here, Mimi.
The only #2 seed to make it to the top 4 at Masters Bangkok. The team that was rated 8th going into this event now has EDG on the ropes. Well, I wouldn't go that far. By a lot of people, many people.
Fraudulent according to many people. Yes, yeah. He's on the money.
Hey, but you know what wasn't fraudulent? This incredible play from Buzz. That takes us to our Verizon high-speed moment, and of course, it's the Buzzman himself. And he ends up finding a nasty one here. Well, wait, is this the, no, okay, that was the one where he catches the shoulder.
That's how good he was, so you don't even remember which play.
I loved the one where he hit the shot, but ended up going transport to the gulag. That was another good one, too.
Yeah.
Some crazy moments in this game, Brand, for sure, but the fact that T1 dug deep to come back like this is huge.
And it was these rounds that made it possible, right? It gives you the breathing room and the buffer to potentially make that comeback happen, which they ended up completing. Buzz, on an individual level, he hasn't stepped back in terms of his form whatsoever. This guy's been on a heater beginning to enter the tournament, and he doesn't seem to slow any signs of slowing down.
T1 have been so good because of their willingness to play to their strengths. And I think that this map is one of the best examples of that. When you have players, the quality of Buzz, the quality of Meteor with the pedigree that those two guys have in Korean Valorant, and you put them on a map. On Agents, they're amazing at. They play with utmost confidence. They will deliver you rounds like this. But it's not just the individualism. This map, again, showcased how good T1 is at using their ultimates to support their teammates from across the map, at setting up little combos with the ISO utility. They are a team that, at the simplest form, is willing to just shoot you in the face, but there's that little bit extra behind the confidence that pushes them at that next level to be truly world-class.
Yeah, T1 are certainly looking fantastic, but there you see that guy on your screen, Kong, who has been doing everything feasible to keep this EDG team in the game. And look at the change from Vine to Haven.
Bro, he was deadlifting. He was trying his hardest in that map. I'm not kidding. And genuinely, where they were going amiss wasn't in the firepower. I mean, yeah, him and Chichu were fantastic in terms of being able to trade off their teammates and playing off for some of their util, having huge individual moments that we saw over and over and over again. But the thing that really slipped away from them was just that macro play. And Kang was left in so many scenarios where he was forced to try and play retake with an operator in a 1v3 because EDG were trying to force the issue too early. They were taking peeks when they didn't need to. They were dropping into sight when they didn't need to. Kang's doing the most, but he can't do it all. And I need the rest of EDG to step up to give us a more competitive game. You can't go out of this tournament 3-0. You're the reigning world champions, man. You can't go out 3-0 at this point. I need to see them collect it up, be disciplined, and play together.
But if there was a map to come back for the world champs, it would be Fracture. They dominated G2 here. The only team to beat G2 this year with a 13-4 win. But they have a very tough task ahead of them because they're playing their Neon comp into T1's buys, and Meteor has been so incredible on this defensive side. And Brent, I think of map 1 where EDG was just sending it on their X6 and the T1 anchors were feasting.
Yeah, they certainly were. I mean, Meteor, the last time we played this map, I think against DRX, he was, just demonic. I think he dropped over 25 kills, but for EDG, they need that firepower, which we know they've already got, and they need confidence. They're going to be bringing it, pacey, tempo, it's going to be nice.
The question on everyone's mind is this how it ends for the world champions? A 3-0 in the lower bracket finals. Let's send it back over to Pansy and Ender.
Thank you, GB in the desk. I mean, I didn't expect to be considering this already. Coming into Fracture with T1, 2 maps in hand. This feels unbelievable. But surely for EDG, there is a chance here. Or do you think T1 just have too much behind them now?
T1 just seem like they've got everything going, right? Ever since reintroducing Sylvan into this team, they've been 6-1 this year. With him in the roster, 1-3 without. It is just clicking, but EDG, they're 3-0 on this map of Fracture. They destroyed G2 on this map previously. If they are to get back into this series, it is going to start here. Looked like one of their stronger maps.
The fashion in which they approached that G2 game felt almost bullish in approach. They were so back in themselves, and rightly so, they trounced them. Is that confidence here today? Meteor has been marvelous, and we were complimenting them, especially in map 1. T1 at least would be able to divide and conquer against EDG. Izu again denies the push-up, turns the flash, he's back in the action. Where's the follow-up? No trade there. Sylvan a little slow on this, and EDG make the most of it. That's 4 alive. That's got to be a plan.
Deciding to go up onto the rope, go slip and sliding through spawn to close out the round. I mean, that's a little bit of the gusto you wanted to see out of EDG, right?
Yep.
The Sands take the double swing from Chichu and Smoggy.
I mind though, the spacing was a little bit better. If they traded a little bit more effectively, this little crunch coming through Sand gets a bit more daily, but just a little bit of spacing in between gives EDG the chance to actually shut down these kills.
EDG had some cool ideas though, right? Kong going up the rope and out onto Rafter, trying to look over the smoke. Not something you see every day. Gotta be really creative on your entry pathing. On this map to view side anchors, T1 just gonna face up 2 players, snag an orb.
Gila EDG 3-0 mereka di map ini Fracture.
But for now, this
belum
should
terkalahkan.
be stability for EDG. And I feel like I've been saying that every round, and then, well, sorry, every time this round occurs, and then somehow T1 just like proved me wrong, which is fair enough. But as it stands, EDG have site control now on both fronts. They've got a plant down. They've got a good idea of what's coming their way.
Yeah, Buzz with a shorty shouldn't be able to do anything back there. It's really T1 just showing on the eco round, trying to orb max as much as possible, not giving away too much of their setup on a round like this. Even just hold and try and play some exits. You look at it, EDG have 3 rifles, so 2 kills here would be massive. 1 more and T1 have done real damage.
They've got a Bulldog on Buzz now. You are looking at damage, right? You're looking to min-max, right? We don't look at round wins. Relax, guys. I think we're good now. Stacks, can he keep him on site? Can he lock him in here? Drag him down with him. Take him down, sure. Stacks is making this cost a fortune. EDG will make it out of the run.
Oh, dear.
Damn, okay, well, that's not the outcome they were hoping for, but at this point, I guess you'll take 2 rounds.
I mean, the rounds are good, but that stings, right? When everything's been going against you, just to get hit 1 more time on the way out. Not so good. But I think now's a good time to sort of look forward to the rest of this half, because T1, the way they play defense on Fracture is pretty interesting. You know, a lot of teams, they'll look for explosive plays right at the start. They'll sort of coin flip the round, sort of try and get a read on where you're going to be hitting early and go for an aggro piece. But T1 likes to do a lot more mid-round aggression. Move into some trap plays after they've seen what you're giving them.
Kong looks singular in approach, doesn't he? Focused towards the goal, but he doesn't manage to connect towards where he wants to. Buzz is still very much alive and on top. Stacks already prized out Kong. The sport's here. T1 lock it down. Chichu swept aside. T1, first one looking pretty secure on that.
I like the way Buzz was repositioning on top site there. Dodging away from the stun, taking those angles pretty cleanly.
I'm waiting to see the money find any stability, right? And it's just not. It feels very volatile for them. We've seen a couple of, like, you know, weaker weapons coming in here at all occasions.
Yeah, this next round's going to be make or break, especially for EDG. Down on relatively low money, both breaches. Just one off of the Rolling Thunder. So we're looking at Econ swing, we're looking at ult swing. Potentially 2 or more rounds riding on the result of this.
This is Curiosity. Peeking here a little. Boombot revealed at least early presence towards A main.
Oh, so they see the A main presence, they hear the zipline being taken down onto the south side, but it's a great timing found on Kong Kong. See, Izu was going for that walk because they got the comm of the zipline. That's a layered approach from EDG to open up a potential kill for Kong Kong.
It's huge. See, trying to keep an eye on this now is also Meteor. Doesn't like that that's available, and the ult going to be coming out on top. That's big, actually. Good info on this. There's a lot of players towards B. Do you dare carry on forwards? And get the upgrade at the very least. Do you then pivot back towards A?
Yeah, going to drop down the stun and start moving out of there.
Still faint though, but again, you got to look at who's still shouldering A. It's going to be Buzz. Done for, deleted. That should be the red carpet rolled out. They don't know how much success. I mean, maybe they could read it off the back of the Cypher information that came through earlier. But yeah, the site's theirs.
Yeah, Meteor deciding to go on a flank, but he's stuck on a tripwire. Now EDG are aware of A main being a potential problem. They've got 2 players there, ready to deal with Meteor.
This looks like a meticulous round though from EDG.
Yeah.
It's what the doctor ordered.
The late insurance of Chichu on drop as well is exactly what they want.
Flash to play in Meteor though. Has a glance, Smoggy one side, 2 the other, isolates 1. And I don't think he makes it out of this alive. They're trying, but no one can trade in. Yes, he can actually. Stacks, I lied to you. He gives it a damn good go, but 3 more, surely not. I'm gonna back off for Stacks here.
Saving in Stacks.
The time's just no good.
There's just no time to play, and Chichu being where he was just such an unknown factor. But these rounds are close, but this pacing coming out from EDG feels much calmer, much, you know, better considered here on the approaches so far. I liked what they did then, honestly. Yeah, a little bit off the back of Kong Kong doing what he did, but it was the read of that contact in A main.
Exactly. Again, they pulled that rotator, that flank coming in, off of the audio of the zipline to make that pick even happen in the first place. And then because of clearing out A main on this hit into that side of the map, they hold on to the breach ult. So Rolling Thunder is going to be available if they need that, because T1, they're just going for the half buy here, carrying over what they can from the last. But this is what sort of builds a very solid half for EDG. This is kind of what happened against them back on Haven in the second half when T1 got all that momentum.
It cements those foundations, right? It gives you that nice bit to lean back to. You have big ult on Simon here. Kong Kong already lovely towards Buzz, but he can't escape. T1 want to crunch it. They want to have a little bit of a biff themselves. And they pull the trigger on the ult here. That's wild. Stacks on the swing. Takes out Smoggy, but it's still a 3v3. And look at the weapons.
It's ugly. Izu was trying to find some kind of a rifle. Now calls in Sylvan, so it's a Sheriff and a Bucky. Right flush with the smoke.
Bucky here ain't bad. But surely it doesn't get the reward it wants.
They know the door's stuck open. They know someone's here.
Got to be heads on a swivel about this, but they can't really disrespect the cycle on the smoke, the util coming out, so they peel away.
A well-called round. Choosing to do a 3 on a zipline. That's dangerous, to say the least, but Chichu had the camera. I think he cleared the north side. It's
observers ready. See if anyone's going to just, you know, be on the side waiting. No one is there.
I think they go drop. Because they know A main had been taken. Now they clear, no one had pushed out from B.
30 seconds left.
Good news for Izu is he's not exposed to the actual drop angle. And with only 25 seconds left, there's options to stall away with the Teo util to force players out into their crosshairs, but they're going on a walk too early. They've lost the timing to try and kill the spike.
Okay, so Plant's gonna be there. They do get the upgrades though. Sylvan's got himself a Phantom. So they are back in this, but Redwell, nobody shouldering this. Is he alone? Doesn't matter apparently. Gonna find Sylvan. Nice! On the second. And the whole time, Meteor was pretty much disconnected from this fight, kind of waiting, wondering if it was going to be that B hit. It wasn't. The 3 from EDG, navigating These puzzling problems very well. Meteor make something out of nothing here. He's ahead of it. Meteor, thank you, Simon. There we are, EDG. Make it out of there with 2 standing. And again, it's not the flashy rounds that we know EDG can have, but these well-navigated mid-rounds that are working for them.
It's composed, though, right? And I think that's what we needed to see from EDG. We know they can be flash, we know they can be explosive when they need to be. But after that, where it's a little bit messy, you know, T1 get a few kills even on the eco. To call it through, go north side, identify that weakness is good. Now those ultimates come into play, so T1 are back on a bye, but EDG have Rolling Thunder. Kong can dip into the old Smoggy too.
Nobody's only one away as well. Like, they are all getting real close to that kind of full hand of impact ults. But Chichu, damn, that is clean. Yeah, Buzz just gets his head ripped off.
That was the showstopper too. I mean, EDG are just full contact, killing T1.
And I said they weren't flashy, and I told you, an absolute porcupine. Bloody hell, what on earth just happened? They just fully contacted 2 sites. Kung runs in and wins.
I feel like I'm doing a disservice to the EDG players, being like, oh yeah, they can use these ultimates to secure the round. No, they just need guns.
That was the most EDG round I've seen. Just walked up, battered 2 of them, and we're like, sick. Kung slide in. Yeah, can't wait to watch that one back. Good luck, T1. I don't know what's happened in between these maps, but someone's had a chat to EDG. They've turned up and they look pretty sharp by all accounts, right? For Simon, 1 HP. Stay on Simon for me. Is he LAN experience scanning round? Yeah, looking for
I mean, there's only so many places he can be at this point.
Right? I don't know if the crowd loves or hates a save, but they seem thrilled by it. They seem absolutely enamored with the idea. Oh, they love a save! Can't get enough.
Easier there.
But yeah, I want to see this replay. Like, look at these fights. Sick.
Oh, right there. And it's right on Buzz's jiggle too.
And then Kung doing this, just fair enough.
Fade away.
Yeah, fair play. That's 3 just belting shots. Oh, one was through smoke. Good. There's the crowd loving the save again. 1 to 5 though. What are you meant to do if you're T1 here? Because this does feel like EDG have started the ball rolling well, and we've seen this before, but they found these in a multitude of ways. This hasn't just been that kind of one-off heavy hitter having form here. We've just seen 3 players basically pound for pound outdo people, but also the way they got to that 6th round was through a composed approach. They were playing the map well. It wasn't just heavily dependent on individual influence.
I think what T1 have shown now in a few of their rounds, especially on the ecos, but even in a couple of the buys, when EDG find a few openers and then the round resets, right? Because apart from the last round, EDG have slowed down the pace in the mid-round. T1 have started walking and trying to, you know, take advantage of some potential gaps. And I think EDG have dealt nicely with that. They've played a very grouped approach in these mid-rounds. And if I'm coming in here from T1, I'm thinking, okay, instead of committing to the flanks in the mid-round, let's commit to maybe some more limited re-clears or some heavier stacks, lean 1-3, 1-4 on sides of the map, because EDG have done a lot of re-hits.
I guess this also then does get brought into the bigger picture. It's quite early for this conversation, but we will start lightly looking at kind of map pool depth and best of 5, right? This is something where EDG historically have got a very good record, highlighted at the start of the day, and will echo throughout if it does become more and more relevant. But this would have to be a reverse sweep if we're going to have the conversation at 5-1 here in map 3. It is a long and hard road to walk for EDG, but they could certainly take some steps towards it here.
Meteor looking with the Marshall, actually leaves Izu on the close angle. Good drone's gonna push them back off the side. And an ultimate now.
Oh, surprised they felt they needed it. I felt it was already lined up, but Kung gonna springboard in, and why not? Meteor deleted, Izu on the trade, but now he's in a bit of a predicament, just kept safe by the smoke. And okay, and Sylvan, oh, free gun, lovely, have a go on that. Ult comes in, this is all getting sloppy, it's all getting messy. It's down to Buzz and Sylvan, at least for T1, as EDG and all that chaos just looks so composed still. They plant their feet, find security, get themselves a plant.
Buzz once again goes over the tripwire, but he was hurt. Yeah, EDG full on holding him. going up 6-1 now, and you think, okay, Rolling Thunder may be an overcommitment, but they've been sitting on 4 ults for a while, so I don't mind that just to guarantee the round. It also did end up pulling out the orbital strike from Sylvan. Not a bad round at all.
Kali ini ya.
With nobody catching a couple of those real nice kills.
Live-nya Restream, last Restream.
It's all right.
Simon burning that one ult to ensure a round outcome. Fair play.
Operator purchased Buzz. First time we're seeing the look from him. NT's fully spotted. And Starlight gone.
Oh Lord! Can he get out of there? Buzz barely alive but makes it away. Bounding back towards the A side. But then as a catalyst, Kang just goes on forward a little too wild. A little bit too far. And Buzz just in panic mode. Just touched the ult. How has he gone here?
Just on his own, walked into A main, out into sand. Meteor full clears him and takes him down. EDG out of sorts in the round. They've seen 4 towards the A side, so they're going to speed up into B. But T1 with Meteor ultimate available on the retake should be everything they need to get back on the board.
That's the spike held back here. Can't even get the plant fast. Gonna try and...
on the north side
yeah,
too.
you're spot on. There is a look to try and go through tower to try and get the cross, but the cross is... It could be threatened. They know that operator could have been in play! Swing together! All good. Meteor just comes crashing back down to earth. That slow lurk coming into play now as well. Layers upon layers here. Chichu trying to hold the line. Pressure towards CT. It's Smoggy waiting over towards that dice side too. Chichu's got a lot of eyes on him. He tries to fall away for a second, reset the tempo over T1. Starting to build back in, but Smoggy succeeds. Cuts off the approach from Dice, but already Sylvan ahead. But Chichu's reposition might just be heaven sent, but he's been hurt. Oh, but it doesn't matter. Oh my God, Chichu! Out of nowhere! Reposition perfect! The first felt fated, and the second unbelievable.
EDG had no business winning that round, but it's Chichu and the Red Bull clutch to carry it through. I mean, look, Buzz gets the classic kill. Nobody tried to take that timing, but then from getting that opener, and then the reposition, T1's gonna be kicking themselves for the missed shot on Buzz for giving Chichu that window.
In fact, he pathed all the way around. EDG, signs of life here, right? Heart starting to beat a little louder. 7-1. Gonna go down without a fight.
T1 have walked all the way up on nobody. This guy's way off sides. No one to help him out, so EDG have to speed up on the other.
I don't think Kung needs any encouragement, actually. He's flying through regardless. Stacks gonna get put to bed early. The main danger man would have been Meteor here. Buzz! Oh! 3 big kills! I'm talking about Meteor. I'm sorry, Buzz. I wasn't familiar with what you could be doing here, but Kung's still alive. Buzz, have you got more for us? Kung forced to pop the ult under pressure. Looking to thrive, Buzz! He looks out of his
Hampir S lagi beliau.
by Meteor, but what a round!
He's a headhunter! He's a trained assassin! Buzz just wills that round to T1.
How's he done this?
Just watch it
Oh.
and appreciate the precision.
Buzz,
Oh, that's poetry. That is poetry. Oh. Christ. But that is a bright spot in a very dark map for T1. Their second round, it's the only one that they've really had that individual upswing on. Other than that, it has been the EDG show here on this side. And again, Kung looking like he's just been given a red flag to a bull. He is just running this map.
All the way up in towards heaven. T1 spot him out, anticipating it somewhat. But he's not abandoning the angle. Look at the confidence.
He just keeps fighting. Maybe this is that confidence builder, right? Just go in there, get in their faces, remind them who you are. But T1 putting up a fight now.
That's the spike. The spike is in spawn.
Oh, okay. Well, that might have been a little bit too far.
And Chichu's on 5 HP, so it all is on nobody. He's regrouped back into the B site, now into the spawn.
There's no way this gives him a window, right?
T1 have given the spike up.
One enemy remains.
Okay, just nobody. It's a 1v3 here. Gets the spike, has 40 seconds. He's going to know where one of these two players is. Probably not the second, but he's going to hazard a guess that B's the best chance for him. Make up for what felt like a real fumble earlier in this one. Aren't going to come in nice and open.
About 5 different angles he could choose to hold at the end of this. Even outnumbered 1v2. This is by no means simple for T1.
A bit of util, but so does nobody. Good stall here for the plant. Use that boombot to clear close. Gonna be going in a little blind to this. Nobody shouldering the angle, and they're gonna see him on the cross. That's huge from Buzz. That now puts Stacks in control of this, to keep control of the push through, to buy them time. They have to respect the util on the spike itself, and a 1v1 is not what you want to be giving. Stacks needs to do the dance, he does the damage. You're gonna get the defuse, but this is not how you give a window of chance, right? This is not how this opens up even an opportunity, right?
I mean, T1 are the momentum team.
Stop it! No. They got 3 rounds, right? 2 back-to-back, though.
2 back-to-back, and you saw what happened once the floodgates opened in the second half of Haven.
No. Why am I feeling this, like the calm before the storm? Quell my worries and frets, EDG. Come out of this. Oh, you've got sheriffs.
That's the problem, right? And okay, Simon's one off a Rolling Thunder. It's not impossible, but it's certainly improbable. Especially now that Buzz has the up back.
Ini lucu sih kalau dibalikin lagi, Jir.
Nice! Oh, come on! I was just about to say, ever since he got the up, ever since that one sheriff round, he's been lights out.
More of that. Keep it coming. This is knife's edge stuff for Meteor, though. He's got problems just about everywhere. Hong Kong slipped the net. They have no idea he's this far ahead. And with Simon kind of doing that, it doesn't give away that there's a player this far up. Kung Kung's off the leash right now. He's behind the wire. They're trying to start out. Oh! Sylvan saves the day, though! Kung Kung was played in perfectly, but he doesn't get his reward. And Sylvan's still staying alive, dodging around every piece of util. Meteor now digs in deeper. Izu in support. T1's trying to come together now. It's 4 rounds.
T1 navigated that site beautifully. Bright Sylvan, the last second, is able to save his teammate up into tower, and then the reposition to group and play off one another. They're now within a spitting distance. And almost missed it because he was trying to stall out main with the molly. No one thought that Kung Kung could be up in sight already. And Pansy, this round is going to be explosive. We've got a showstopper for T1. We've got 3 ults for EDG, and EDG ready to attack into B.
Step by step. Closer now. G2. The other side of the map.
Oh, that's a tell though.
Yeah, that's a big amount of info as well.
Because nobody's has defaulted A lobby basically every single round trying to take that fight.
But again, they do have Simon's ult here. That can be brought into play. And they're just going on this one. This feels brazen, it feels bold, this feels mad. Is there any place to be safe? No. EDG storming the gates. Izu trying to play this back in, but lost in the smoke, as is Sylvan. This is madness, but T1 coming out on top here. 3v2. Suddenly, Brimstone ult comes flying in from above. Simon and Smoggy, they ain't got the plant yet. They got 47 seconds to figure this out.
They don't even have the site anymore. They've just gone ahead and left it, using their final smoke to try and threaten some kind of a walk-up. Pretty soon they're gonna have to start running and make their way over into A. And the post plant, it's not gonna be so easy. Looks like Smoggy, if he can get the spike down, if Simon can toss that over to him, he'll have the ultimate, he'll have the molly. But they still can't just play off-site. They're gonna have to fight T1.
Make that cross. No one there for the challenge. You're looking at Simon
for spawn
to slip CT, having a fight on this, trying to be the instigator, the difference maker. But this is a brutal angle to try and get more than one on. And Smoggy, he's gone away with the reposition, doesn't get spotted. Stacking up now. They want to fight, they want to brawl, they want to force their hand. Simon gets one, but one is not enough. T1 closing the gap on the scoreboard. I am pet petrified that one round might have given just enough hope to T1.
T1 found something special towards the close of this half. You can feel it in the air, they can taste it. Just 8 more rounds separating them from the grand final.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Had it with your old phone? We've got you. At Verizon, trade in any old phone for iPhone 16 Pro on us, on any plan. And get iPad and Apple Watch Series 10, all 3 on us. That's up to $2,000 in value, only on Verizon.
OneTube Go will get you to your destination at the touch of a button on your smartphone.
Ada iklan lagi.
Five to 7 now. The scoreline becomes imperative. There's hope among this T1 side after a rather daunting start here. EDG came out swinging, Ender. They looked great in those first early couple of rounds, fantastic. But then the gap closed.
Yeah, they were so active, so confident, until T1 started just playing these side holds instead of throwing it away all on the flanks. It all really started once Buzz got the Sheriff in hand. He stole the round, he had that eco with the 4K, 4 headshots. But EDG can still equalize. They still come in with the advantage.
Absolutely.
This is still favored territory for them.
EDG now, pressure. Starting to mount. Starts with a pistol. This could easily close up that scoreline, take it away. Really stark contrasts as rewards for winning this.
Nobody is all on his own. This is such a hard spot to play. Do you jump up? Do you get into smoke? He's looking for timing.
Yeah, feeling like he wants to be influential or maybe just wants to stay alive more than anything. This is now, ooh, a shot for Kung Kung. Isolating Buzz. The plant is in.
Their opening door, they're trying to put some pressure into main, but Izu has played so far away. He's gonna be such a big problem.
Yeah, Izu down the line could be an issue, but Smoggy aware. Lovely from him. Heads upward. Sylvan fights out towards. Whoa, Meteor! Relax now, Smoggy. Gonna keep advantage to EDG with the defuse coming in on the second half.
Wild that it comes down to a 1v1 again. But EDG finally breaking up that string of rounds that T1 had found for themselves. Kong Kong finding the opener too.
Yeah, it felt like a necessary breath here, right? Like a little bit of a breath of fresh air. The fact that Smoggy caught out Izu felt huge to me, because that could have been such a big impact player to come in late. A little bit of util still in play. I mean, Meteor and Sylvan tried to make a damn good go of it. Got real close. You can see it. Real close, but a solid step for EDG. Up to 8, and you can see that there's no hurry for T1 to try and over-invest here. Just gonna be that Sheriff on Meteor.
We'll see if EDG can keep shutting Buzz out of these rounds. Apart from the Sheriff, he's been fairly low impact compared to his usual self, but as I say it, are they gonna steal away another eco?
You don't do this, you don't do this! There's no way that you get away with it again, right? We've got the 2 Bulldogs, we've got SMGs, we've got util. EDG now, level in numbers as well. Izu going to be forced back. They're trying to find their fight towards Arcade, but nobody does really well here. Now it feels likely they're up towards the tower side. Kung wants to take the space. He's having a go at it. And yeah, he's going to get his marked man. EDG weather the storm. It got a little dicey. But they deliver and get up to 9.
Great util on that tower re-clear. First the initial stall, then the flash. Scaling off it nicely too. And sure, even when things get a little bit difficult, nobody's going to be there as some late insurance. But I think the Buzz thing might be real. Again, half his kills just came from the single round with the Sheriff. Kong's had his number in a few of these. Now on the defensive side, facing up to take these early fights. T1 geared up for a split over into the B site. See how quickly they end up taking this. Seems to be fast.
Yeah, it looks pacey, doesn't it? I mean, they could always shift gear, but now they want to go, especially with Buzz doing this, right? This is quick. Jichu, life on the line, but he's managing to make it out of the maelstrom pretty much alive until then. Buzz, big, back-to-back damage, takes site, takes control. T1 there. That's a quick plant. They are instantly on the back foot now.
EDG showing 3 players coming in on the flank. Looks like Simon got cut off by the wall too, so they have to slow down, take their time. And T1 have completely shrunk away from this.
It is still just the bonus here for EDG, right? But you don't want to see 5 against you. 5 walking out with all that cash, all those prizes. And Sylvan might be the one to stop it before it starts. Big flank, big timing. And a whole lot of players to do some big damage to. Nice between him and Buzz. Now can close? Not this time. No more weapons to be taken away. 4 make it out of that round for T1.
Such a clean anti-bonus there. T1 in a great position to play this next round. Keep things competitive, keep things close. And we're still a little ways away on the ults.
Okay, I like what we've seen there, at least from T1 to show that they have that gear to go to. That pacey look coming in. Kung now, ult is ready for him. Is that something they want to be leaning towards early in this game? Stamp that authority on there. He looked almost over-aggressive to an extent, right? Really trying to stamp his authority on that first half.
Yeah, the idea here was a quick refight if it was going to be another split off a breach stun in Kong Arcade, but now they can quickly rotate over. Drone's going to spot the 1 player, but EDG aren't going to be fooled at all. They are ready to stop this hit in its tracks.
Ooh. Did Buzz hear that, though? We talk about land sound. That little drop. Affordable, but now a little uncomfortable. Buzz gonna still just go in for it. Oh, he's hunting him down! But he lets one slip, they don't know about it! Buzz still going, still trying to find his man! He's lost him in the smoke! He's lost him in this complete madness! It was Izu in the end to come out of the bloodbath alive.
Just insanity! I thought Buzz's entry pathing was perfection there. Going into the smoke for the first kill, then turning around to help his teammates. Hearing all those rotates coming in. You'll see his POV here, right? This kill then turning around, because you know that the defender's going to be flooding back in from those site smokes.
Oh, that was sheer pandemonium, though. Like, look at the amount of bodies that died on that site. These 2 rounds. Of course, just enough worry, just enough, that they want to slow things down for EDG. They have a buffer still. We're at 7 to 9. But when we talk about pressure, I know the desk did as well at the start of the day, we never really put Team EDG as someone to feel that pressure. They always thrived in it. Actually, if anything, got better in it. Now we've got a real challenger in the form of T1 here, who seem unfazed by all of EDG's past accolades. And they are getting close on this scoreboard.
It's sort of wild, right? T1 coming in with some of the lowest expectations of the tournament as Pacific's #2 team. Right? Losing that first match against Vitality, you discount them almost instantly. Yeah. Like, what are they doing switching around their roster? Like, it doesn't make sense. Play with the guy you stuck in first. Everyone looking foolish after what Sylvan and this team have been able to do since then. 6-1 this year with him in the roster. And this combination of old and new, right? Buzz and Stacks have been together since the Vision Strikers days, rejoining now with Izu and Sylvan. The younger players, in moments like this, still managing to step up. It's nothing short of impressive.
You look at the bite for EDG, you've got to feel like this could be an 8th. Now, they still have some ults here, though. that could change things. Smoggy gets a kill. You've suddenly got the orbital strike as well. A lot could be had here. T1 as well, walking into 4 players.
There.
Hong Kong's hero rifle is up in arcade. And it's a little difficult for T1 to exec into this B side without any pressure on the north side. So either move back into A or re-clear underpass, you'd imagine, unless you're willing to commit the Rolling Thunder to it.
T1 backing from this. A little bit worried that they're walking into a bit of the unknown towards A. So we do have this push up from nobody, but it is just a Sheriff. Meteor's going to win that one.
It's too readable. Nobody does this all the time. T1's prep is there. They're unfazed by it. Light buy rounds have not been working for EDG.
Simon, nice play from him. Dealt with by Buzz, but I like the idea. Had to make a quick play, but still, this is 4 standing and a plant now on their side. Kung is en route through by Dish, I guess, but that's what they did need. Smoggy now has ult. Suddenly, the site's completely clear.
Just about everyone's got ult. Kung could chuck the rifle over to Chichu and pop the laser hands if he wants to.
They are playing so far off site here. Look how deep T1 are sitting. They are banking on stacks to be their backbone here. Kung, he's going for it. He's absolutely going for it. They've been taken off the defuse for now.
It's already
forced forward. They have to get back. The molly. You're gonna have the util. Oh!
He just gets it like that. T1 throw 2 ultimates into the post plant, combo the utility, and just by a sliver, EDG are able to full stick it through.
God, that was close. The util, as you said, a fraction of a second earlier could have been the difference on this. Error was getting half, and here it is on completion. Bloomin' heck. Close as you like. What a Red Bull clutch for him, though. He'll be over the moon with that, keeping EDG now up to 10, spurring them on forward, but there's a fight! Izu slicing through them, Smoggy and Kung left in tatters. And now the site looks vulnerable.
Nobody is sped up on the flank, broke the wall, and now is going on the zip line to approach from the north side. So EDG have to slow down the retake. They can't be flooding out here. They need to wait for nobody.
Gotta have the patience, the discipline to wait. Izu's position might be a checkmate on nobody, though.
It's been so good today.
I mean, he started this one off. Might be the one to pretty much... He's at least going to identify where nobody is. It does force the hand now of the other two to start working forward. Peekaboo brings the surprise. Izu just holding the space. Stacks and Sylvan shut down the account. It was down by a fraction before. This time, 4 players standing for T1.
I just can't believe the work Izu is able to do consistently.
They're 2 rounds away.
On every possible agent, too. We haven't seen him play the duelist today. He's still putting up numbers. He's still having rounds like this.
We are 2 rounds away from all even. I'm going to tell you about the money. If you can't see it yet, you'll see it now. It ain't good for EDG. We're down to Sheriffs. We're on Classics.
Let's have some fun.
This is looking like maybe 9, and then we're 1 away. This game could close up here. But T1 still need to stick true to this so far. EDG dangerous as ever. Have a look at Kung already out and about. Taking his walk, stretching the legs. They have a read, but they certainly don't have the site control now.
It's just every round, EDG going for these flanks. Nobody always pushing out from the south side. The ultimate's being thrown in. EDG are going to get the kill, play the 4v5, but they've only got 3 Sheriffs to their name.
They are actually scrapping for this one. They are actively trying to fight on this with very, very little to their name. Nobody has so many players in front of him. He doesn't get the shot he wants. Nice in the end, but outgunned, outnumbered. T1 trying to come together, but EDG from nothing, making mountains out of molehills. A Meteor about to be outdone. EDG! The odds against them, and it doesn't matter. 11 rounds.
You've got to just love watching EDG play. I mean, you are at risk of getting 3-0'd, and you're tossing the ultimates into a round 5v5 with absolutely nothing. A full-on MasterCard thrifty for them, and it works. The combination of the stun and the Brim ultimate from the heavens. And a couple of nice shots is what they needed.
The fact they can dig that deep is unbelievable. Felt that might have been a bit of a slam dunk almost. Teed up for T1. Not to be, ever to be underestimated, EDG, no matter the money.
That's a showstopper unlocked for
Yeah,
Buzz.
it is.
He can come flying out from drop. EDG have called this though, no one's on the site. There's 3 players flanking on the north side, and they can potentially speed this one up. Nobody's home. This rocket surely doesn't find anyone. Chichu needs to get out of spawn.
Yeah, all good.
But already T1, they're trying to re-clear their south side. They know EDG have to be pushing, and it's Meteor to find the first.
Kong! He's left in bits. Beaten and bruised. He can't make it through the thorns. Meteor holds his ground. They are pouring everything again into this one. Chichu, Simon, nobody. There's not much more you can do. Meteor is just out of this world right now in this round. Chichu and nobody trying to pry these final players out of these positions, but they're well set up. To be able to divide them now would be spectacular. And it doesn't look like it's to be. Chichu fighting tooth and nail, giving everything he has. But he has no bullets, he barely has any HP, and he's certainly running damn low on time. T1 taking another step back here at 9-11.
What's the money gonna look like for EDG? It wasn't pretty going into that, and again, they're just gonna have 2 rifles.
God, they're pouring on, barely.
The way Meteor is consistently able to find rounds like this is so good.
Look at what they've got. It's a Bulldog, a Vandal.
It's a mess.
Yeah, it is. They made it work with less before. How do they paint this masterpiece now?
It might be with a Rolling Thunder. They committed an ult last eco, and they won with it.
They find, yeah, okay, so they spotted Kung. That's the rifle. Gonna be now etched into their minds, but they pick up the pace. Smoggy goes unchecked. There's still a threat here. There's still a big chance here. Good trade, though. Stack's gonna keep it at least on even footing, but Smoggy still in the smoke. T1 this time, isolating the players, and Smoggy not able to make much of that position in the end, as T1 barrel closer. 10 rounds now. Nearly in touching distance to EDG. On 11. They've got a buy in hand here though, EDG. If there was a round to make it matter, to make it count, it would be now.
I just want to know if EDG are going to change the playbook. They have just done so many of these flanks trying to blow open the rounds. But I think T1 have dealt with it so nicely. They've identified this tendency of EDG's. They're clearing out their flanks, and yeah, EDG are getting some rounds here and there, but it's not like T1 are shocked by the things EDG are doing.
Oh, nobody. What a start. I mean, feels like he's prayed for that one and someone answered that time. But Buzz quick to business. Straight up towards tower here.
This is awkward. No control coming in from the south side. So Buzz is moving forward on the warpath. Nobody's still ratting it out on center side, but T1 are knocking down the EDG members.
Spot on, but there's the ult here. I told you it doesn't matter the numbers, it doesn't matter the odds, they're still gonna fight for this. Kung showing you why. Takes away Sylvan, now brings it back to 2v2, but the spike is down. The time is ticking. Can they find these 2 players? Stacks. The icon on the side. The young gun of Izu beside him. And now it's all about timing. Izu's trying to stall them out. Buy time! And he takes away Kung's head, leaving Simon in a world of trouble. A 1v2 that he can't find, surely. Tries to make it count here, but he's lost track of Stacks. And Stacks, the man with the plan, brings us back to 11 apiece. T1 having their wishes answered here. And EDG running low on time now.
2 more rounds for Stack and Buzz. This is their 10th international, their 10th global event they have attended. They have never made it to the final. The best they had back in 2022. Champions, top 3. They faltered then. But it doesn't seem like anything can stop this duo now. They're no longer in a Vision Strikers uniform. They're not in a
Cicu udah
TRX
mulai
jersey. But
loyo
in
tuh.
T1, representing Korea, representing Pacific. Now just 2 more to take out China and face down G2.
Ente kah?
Breathe it in. Take it in these moments. 11 apiece. EDG scrappy throughout. Can't say they haven't been. First 2 maps, take it or leave it. This one, they fought. They've been close, but close doesn't get close enough against T1 right now. The string of rounds they've gone on, it's 3 consecutive here. And the buy coming back in for EDG is not pretty. They've been suffering from that lower end of the money, suffering throughout this game. Kangkang invested his ult into that last round. He ain't got that now. This could be 12 for T1.
The consistent question for EDG when they start faltering is who will step up? Who will be the hero for this team? We have seen this event, it be Chichu so consistently. We've seen Kangkang at Champions. Throughout EDG's history, be the guy. Nobody too. Always willing to face up and take a 1v1. But now you just need someone to step up in the heat of the moment. This round, eyes on Kangkang with the hero rifle.
The icon for the side, Kangkang as well, right? The guy who put them on the map to an extent. Now needs to stand tall. T1, head first here, looks like. It looks explosive, it looks direct. Smoggy somehow needs to find something. He can't find a thing! Meteor!
Udah kalah ini.
Coming together in
Udah kalah.
unison!
EDG kalah ini.
Nobody!
Udah nggak ada jawaban nih EDG.
They could finish this with a flourish and make it up to
3-0.
12 with 5 standing.
Dibalikin T1
EDG might
GG.
just watch this map slip through their fingertips. And nobody's position revealed. And it's a formality, surely.
In back-to-back maps now, T1 have run the gauntlet
GG,
in the
GG.
second half. Pushed it to the finish. EDG, they only have 1 more chance left after this.
Can't believe it. It's a save. It is gonna be a save. It's the smart choice. It's the right choice. But it leaves you with a heavy heart here. EDG tantalizingly close, but the team to make it to 12 is T1 taking the advantage here. And now 1 round away from the grand finals.
Gila.
EDG may have
2
been the
kali di
favorites coming
comeback
into
loh.
this series today, but in the definitive round we're heading into, it is T1 riding the momentum of this slaughterhouse of a round 23. It is T1 stepping in with 3 of the best ults in the game against an EDG with barely anything. They will have to dig deeper than they've ever had to before to steal this round back to push OT, and even then it's not over.
Now the calm before the storm. The moments before the mayhem. Buzz! The first to draw blood, but
tapi
Smoggy
dapat
still
2
stands.
Smoggy-nya.
Does he get to live? He does. He makes it out of the Inferno alive.
And with the north side destroyed, now EDG stepping into main.
Good
Stacks takes him down!
Nice try, but they're holding on here.
Wah.
EDG resilient to the
12
end.
sama.
Sylvan left in a 1v3. This man's been good. Probably one of the most intellectual players we have seen.
Gelo. Sylvan,
This time,
pahlawan
it's
lagi
up
kah
against
Sylvan?
EDG, who are protecting that
Si Rookie
spike
model
like it's their
pahlawan lagi kah?
most prized possession.
He wasn't even on the starting 5 roster heading into this event. Could he send them to the finals?
Langsung double pick, gila.
EDG, Smoggy, so calm under such pressure. 12 apiece. We go OT!
Couldn't ask for it any better. Just when you think EDG are down and beaten, they get right back up. And Smoggy, no less. I mean, you could say anyone else's name on this team to step up in a moment like that. The fact that it's Smoggy trading out his duelist when Kangkang falls, taking those 3 kills, repositioning, holding firm in the post.
What they needed. It's a lifeline. A 12 apiece. That 14th round now is the goal. It's the aim. We go again.
Sudden death lagi.
Now you don't have to worry about those silly ultimates. Just good old honest Valorant. That's where EDG
Overtime.
thrive.
EDG's turn on the attacking side here.
EDG, remember that Buzz was posting up an op on drop a lot.
Meteo.
Crisplo playing that almost off angle, aggressively shouldering in.
They could get a walk in there. I love this angle from Buzz.
Buzz, this feels a little bit new. I don't think we've seen him do this too often, no. And almost brought it down like a guillotine, but Chichu survives. Nobody now thrives, and they take towards the B site. Surely a plant on the cards here. I don't think much can deny that. We've got a flank far away.
Yeah, and a trip line. That's going to spot out Stacks. EDG won't be fooled in this post plant.
That's the man that you need here.
Izu.
Yeah. No silly ults you were saying earlier. Simon's got one for himself. He's got full utility. Nobody as well has util to play with. This would need a miracle for Izu. And time is not on his side anymore. For EDG, a necessary break from what was an arduous second half. Clawing back in. Game on, and it looks like this round over. Izu sprung in the air. EDG striking first in OT.
Masih gak bisa mau kalah, bro.
First time we've seen EDG on a map point all day.
It's crazy. That is crazy.
Balik ini, mental boost lagi nih, EDG. Nembaknya udah mulai pada betul ini.
EDG have been at the heights before, and now with advantage. Heading into the 26th round, Kong's decided to go for a glass up.
Timeout lagi, T1.
Looks like a timeout's going to be called from T1. Find an answer here. But honestly, this defensive side has been EDG's weakness. They only won 3 rifle rounds, 3 rounds even, after the opening pistol in round 2. But I don't think we ever saw the op look out of Kong. That could be a new wrinkle.
It certainly could. And leading this conversation was actually Stacks there. A little bit of input from the coaching staff, but Stacks the one to kind of have a chat with the boys, it seems like. They're trying to pick them up here, get them locked in, get them focused on trying to either bring this back to a double OT or try and prepare for whatever EDG's got in store with them.
Hey, it makes sense. He's been around from the beginning.
Yeah.
Synonymous with the early days of Valorant.
It's true.
But has never been able to reach that final peak. Ever since Vision Strikers went to the global stage, right? It just wasn't the same story for that team, for Stacks, or for Buzz. This is about delivering on that fantasy for so many events.
Spot on. And I am seeing Kong switch off that glass cannon there. The operator gone, switched Alpha for the Vandal.
Oh, Pansy, they are 5 players on the B site right now.
Oh my god. Well, I think we're about to have a 5v5 on B pretty much.
Izu.
There's nowhere to get up. What's he alive? Oh, he's not alive anymore.
Udah menang.
Puts him in their
Menang.
and reminds them who he is. Sends him scattering. Meteor trying to dig in deeper.
Menang. Udah.
He's not letting you escape.
EDG.
Still alive.
Masih.
The crowd in here is electric. EDG have entered the building. EDG
Seru banget, cocok. Main-main gas-gas begini enak banget ditonton. Gak ngantuk kalau udah begini nih. Ya, nunggu lagi dong. Nunggu apa udahan ya? Udah 21 guys. Udahan aja kali ya. Thank you yang udah nonton ya. Next live kita main MC aja kali ya. MC Gogo. Kita lihat ya. Bye guys.